Americans and the Seattle Thunderbirds both around their respective nets and just about ready to get this thing underway. Hockey starts with a face-off. It's the only time the referee drops the puck is at the beginning of a period, and that will happen momentarily along the red line. The hockey rink, 200 feet long, 85 feet wide, glass up to about 10 feet all the way around, except it extends up to about 18 feet or about 15 feet around the ends of the rink. The referee, Dean Forbes, steps in. On the faceoff will be Steve Rennie, number 23 for the Americans, against number 13, Victor Gervais. Gervais for Seattle. It's Gervais with Lindsey Vallis. And on the blue line, Travis and Stark. Gervais at center with Vallis, and I'll get you the other center or the other winger in a second. As they get ready for the face-off, the puck is down. Face-off won by the Americans. Here come the Americans. Jakes passes it across the center line, and it's knocked away by the Seattle Thunderbirds. Puck is loose and goes into the Americans' end. Jakes chases it into the corner. Saves it out along the boards to McNutt. McNutt dumps it back into the neutral area where Gervais gets it. Quick pass across the ice. Gervais has it stripped away by the Americans. Puck goes to Kraus. Kraus shoots it into the Seattle end, into the corner, and they'll chase it. Goes down there, and Shannon Travis goes in after it. Loose puck. Gervais has it in the neutral ice area. Gets it across the blue line. Gervais has it stuck handled away from him by Kraus. Rob Kraus into the neutral area. Up to the Seattle blue line. Robert Dumas has it there at the blue line. Leaves it off for teammate McCammond. Ian McCammond, and we have a whistle. First whistle of the night will be,
call was offside.
Appears to be an offsides call against Seattle. It was a two-line pass, and we'll have the puck put in play just inside the Seattle blue line. Just underway in the first period, no score. Kirk Williamson along with Tony Ott. Taking the face-off will be Dean Hall, newly acquired by the Seattle Thunderbirds, a draftee of the Boston Bruins. Again, the Tri-City Americans. Stu Barnes wins the draw. Out along the board, Seattle with it. They get quickly into the Americans' end. Here comes Hall into the corner, tried to center it, and got crunched instead. Puck goes around behind the Americans' net. There's Sean LeBrun with it. Brunner brings it around behind the Americans' net, loses it, centered right in front of the net. A shot by Hall. Goes around wide of the net. They center it back up to the blue line, and everybody will chase it. Puck goes the length of the ice. Seattle's goalie, Lorenz, comes out for it. Danny Lorenz leaving it for Malgunas. Stuart Malgunas with the puck, shoots it around the boards for McCammond. Goes all the way into the neutral ice area, and the Americans have it. Dumped back along the sideline by Trent Catcher. Kept in play by Seattle and dumped in behind the Americans' net. Catcher goes after it. Trent Catcher. Pass goes ahead to Spenrath. Spinner's pass across the ice. A quick pass to Barnes. Barnes a shot, and it's blocked out front by Sprague. Puck goes in behind the Seattle net. Seattle gets it out now to Stevenson. Great check by Spenrath. Puck comes up to Goodall. Glenn Goodall across the blue line. Kraus puts him down. Goes loose into the corner. Tri-City's there. Rob Kraus with it ahead to Barnes. Loose puck goes into the neutral area, and Seattle will chase it down. Darcy Simon with it. Simon goes right to Stevenson. Stevenson has it stolen away off his stick by Delcourt. Greg Delcourt. Shot! Blocked by Lorenz. He caught it in the glove hand.
What the Tri-City Americans are going to have to do down here at this end is they're going to have to, at the attack zone, they're going to have to do a lot of forechecking. The Seattle defense is very tough. They're very big, and they're very, very physical.
Got to keep the Seattle defenders off balance. That's the key to this game for the Americans. When they hit, they play well. When they don't hit, they don't play well. It'll be Rennie for the Americans to take the draw. Face off. Won by the Americans. That's 3 in a row. Goes out to Jakes at the blue line. Jakes, a quick shot blocked by Lorenz. Goes off into the corner. Chasing it down is Rennie. They scramble for it. Puck comes right out in front of the net. Shot out to the side by Seattle's Jay Stark. Stark goes after it. And now Nibbs with it. Nibbs tried to center it to Rennie. Nibbs has to get it back. Puck's loose. Goes across the blue line into the neutral ice area. Here comes Seattle. Lindsey Vallis, and he's crunched by Rob Kraus. Kraus stopped a sure breakaway there. Delcourt gets popped by McCammond along the boards. And the puck comes loose out along the boards. Good hit by Nibbs there. And Nibbs is cross-checked from behind, and he goes down in a heap. We're going to have a couple of whistles here as Calvin Nibbs really took a pop that time, and we'll wait for the call by referee Dean Forbes. Penalty goes to Ewan. A boarding penalty, which means he ran somebody into the boards. After what amounts to a cheap shot penalty. And the faceoff will come at the center red line. It will be Stu Barnes facing off against Victor Gervais. Barnes in there with LeBrun and Spenrath on the front line. Barnes wins the draw again to Kutowitz. Kutowitz for the Americans to Catcher. Catch with it, goes all the way back behind his own net. The Americans play with a one-man advantage over the Seattle Thunderbirds.
The Tri-City Americans power play is at a 13.6 percentage. Not a very high percentage, Kirk, but what they're going to have to do is this is a beautiful opportunity for them to jump on top and take control of this hockey game right now.
Working to get it out of the neutral zone. They get it across the blue line. Spenrath. Spenrath goes in the corner, worked on by Dumas. Can't get it off his stick. We may have it frozen there, and it is. There'll be a face-off to the right of the Seattle goalie, Danny Lorenz. Lorenz, 89.8 save percentage. That means nearly 9 out of every 10 shots that come his way, he blocks, and that is an outstanding save rate. Face-off will be to the right of Lorenz. Seattle with 4 skaters on the ice. The Americans with 5. Barnes against Goodall as they get ready to take the draw. Barnes has a word with his linesman. It is Kwiatkowski and Calvin Nibbs. Kwiatkowski skates around, has a quick word with the defenseman. Puck is down. Seattle wins the draw. Travis with it, shoots it around the boards, goes all the way back into the Americans' end. Catcher will have to hustle to get it. Catcher chases it down along the boards, goes behind his own net. Trent Catcher trying to bring it out, gets a pass across the neutral ice, but it's stolen away by Travis, and Travis shoots it back into the Americans' end. Tri-Cities with it. They get it up to Catcher. Catcher off the boards, but Seattle's there. The Seattle Thunderbirds with the puck. The Americans trying to get control of it. 1 minute remaining in the power play opportunity as Catcher goes back behind his net to get it and reset the power play.
Seattle just made a line change as well.
Trent Catcher with it, leaves it for Kwiatkowski. They're going to head to Barnes. Barnes is crunched along the boards. Scramble for the puck as Nibbs goes in after it. Nibbs gets it to Catcher. Over to Kutowitz, back to Catcher. 39 seconds in the power play. Catch ahead to Nibbs. Calvin Nibbs shoots it into the Seattle end. Goes into the corner as Barnes goes in after it quickly. Loose puck, but it's taken out of there by Stuart Malgunas. Malgunas for Seattle. 26 seconds remaining. Puck stolen at center ice by Steve Jakes, but Seattle keeps it back into the Tri-Cities end. Back for it is Murray Duval. Murray Duval for the Americans. Duval quickly brings it up, loses it at the Tri-Cities blue line and has to go back. Gets it to Jakes. No, bad pass. Vallis, Lindsey Vallis working it in. They tried to center it, and it was deflected by Ferland. Here come the Americans. 1 second in the power play. Ewan will be stepped out. Penalties expired, but it goes to McNutt in the slot. Can't do anything with it, and Travis has it. For Seattle, they shoot it around to Duval. Tri-Cities with the puck. There's McNutt. Works in around the left boards, around behind the net. McNutt has it knocked away from him by Goodall. Puck scrambled for, pounding at it is Barnes. Can't get it in, and the puck goes loose once again. Barnes! Barnes' shot blocked by Lorenz, deflected into the glass. Scramble for it again as McNutt goes in after it, along with Barnes. Puck comes out to Duval at the point. For the Americans, McNutt. McNutt tried to get it to Rennie, and Rennie is checked off the puck. Rennie goes in for it along with McNutt. Rennie and McNutt. But for Seattle, Glenn Goodall has it, a centering pass. McNutt is shot wide of the goal. McNutt's shot goes just wide of the goal. Now it's shot along the boards and back into the Americans'
We're going to have icing on this one.
Icing will be called against Seattle as soon as Tri-Cities touches it. And they'll take it back down to the Seattle end. Now we have a fight going on. It is Delcourt and number 21, Darcy Simon. Delcourt and Simon. Pretty good one along in front of the Seattle bench. That's not a good place to fight. But as far from Delcourt's standpoint, Simon gets a pretty good pop in there. Greg Delcourt, young man with a lot of heart. He comes to play, and he doesn't like to be messed with. Looks like Simon may be getting the, well, he has a little bit more reach, does Simon. Now the
linesmen come in to break that up, send both men to the penalty box there.
Simon and Delcourt on the fight. I don't know. I did not see who started it. We'll have to wait and see who takes the penalty. You hear the crowd reacting to the fight, which comes at 5:28 of the first period. No score in the hockey game. McNutt goes over to take some gear back to Greg Delcourt.
The way the Americans were moving the puck into the slot there was real impressive, because they had the Seattle team behind the net, working him behind the net, and with a quick pass out in front, catch him in the slot, a good shot on goal, and we have a 1-0 ball hockey game here. And did they go ahead and say?
Yeah, it was 5 minutes for fighting, and neither team penalized because of the fight. Robertson in there now, the rookie line of Robertson and Dirksen, along with Rick Fry on the draw. Robertson wins the draw, but Seattle has the puck. Chopped that in front of the Seattle goal. Here comes Seattle. Number 16, Dean Hall with it. Hall has it stolen away by Fry, but Fry's pass goes right to Dumas. Dumas shoots it into the corner. Dumped in there, trying to get it is Shane Cole. Cole couldn't do it. Seattle with it out to the blue line. A big drive by Malgunas. Wide of the net. And they scramble for it down to the left of the Tri-Cities goal. Comes out to Robertson. Good pass by Shane Cole, but it's back in the neutral area where Seattle has it. Here come the Thunderbirds once again. Dean Hall feeds out right side to Gertson. Gertson cranked up for a big shot, and Krause checked him off of it. Krause gets hammered by Dean Hall, and the puck comes out for Dirksen. Dirksen takes a pretty good hit and loses the puck as they scramble for it along the boards in the neutral area. Cole digs at the puck. Cole and McCammon tie up. Now Rick Fry in there looking for it. They get a puck is still loose. Tri-Cities in a shift change with a puck right in front of their goal. Now Robertson hammers it into the Seattle end. Seattle goalie Lorenz goes back after it. Shot out in front of the net. A great chance, but nobody home for the Americans. Zavisha, here comes Zavisha. A 2-on-3 break. Zavish's shot wide of the net, way wide. Goes out to Sprague at the point. His shot deflected right in front of Ferland, but it's deflected wide of the net. Shot around behind the goal now. Seattle chasing it. Goes into the corner, and the Americans have it. It's 2-on-3 as the Americans bring it down. Here comes the third American. Barnes across the blue line. Good move by Barnes. A shot! Wide of the goal. Stu Barnes just wide of the goal, and the puck comes out to Goodall. Goodall at the blue line. It goes to Malgunas. Malgunas shoots it, and Ferland blocks it. He shot it from way outside the blue line. Ferland blocked it easily. Shot down into the Seattle end. Thunderbirds will go after it. Shannon, Travis with it. Both teams changing shifts quickly. Travis brings it up the right side now to Vallis. Vallis' pass gets loose, and it's dumped back into the Seattle end. The Americans going after it. We'll have a delayed call here, and now we get the whistle. And it will be a delayed icing call, I think, against Tri-Cities.
Kennewick just gave a great hip check out there at center ice onto Vallis and put him down on the ice.
He
Beautiful.
Put Vallis about 3 seats deep. The clock reads 12:30 of the first period here in the Tri-Cities Coliseum. A great save made by Ferland as the puck was loose right out in front of him. And we've had a couple of good saves by Lorenz.
Crowd is definitely getting into it now, I think. They're
I think so too. It's taken them a while to figure out what they're watching, but when they do, well, look out. Steve Rennie to take the draw for Tri-Cities, along with Victor Gervais for Seattle. Rennie wins it. Between his legs goes to Jakes. Steve Jakes for the Americans. Molested by Dean Ewan. Shoots it along the board. Seattle keeps it in play. Gervais right out in front of the goal. Great defensive play. Scramble for the puck as Ewan goes in on Ferland, but the Americans' defense able to keep him out of there.
Steve Jakes, unbelievable, right there in front of the slot.
Scramble for the puck as Kwiatkowski goes for it. They get it out to Nibbs. Calvin Nibbs. 2-on-2 breakaway. Here they come across the blue line to Kwiatkowski. Slides it wide of the net. Takes a big hit. Nibbs goes in. Seattle puts another big hit on. Calvin Nibbs takes a tremendous hit. Puck goes back along the boards. Sherstenka couldn't handle it. Back for it in a hurry is Gervais. Ferland fires it along the glass. Back out into the neutral area. Seattle goes after it. Ferland will come out and shoot that puck right in your face if you're not careful. Puck picked up at center ice by Murray Duval. Duval slaps it into the Seattle end around behind the Seattle net. Puck shot out to the boards. Devin Dirksen there to steal the pass, but it's taken right away from him by Ian McCammon. 2-on-3. Seattle goes to the right side. Gertson. Gertson is popped as he shoots it around behind the goal. Over for it is Shane Cole. Have a Seattle player down on the ice. And another big scramble down in the corner. Centered, intended for Dean Hall. He couldn't do anything with it. And another crunching check down along the Tri-Cities net as the Americans bring it down, and now we get the whistle.
Shane Cole, brand new to the Tri-City Americans, put a welcome to the Tri-Cities check down there behind the net. Great check.
He creamed Dean Hall. He put Hall up onto the boards and let him just drip back onto the ice. What a hit. 11:05 to play, first period.
Coach John Albert was very, very excited when he got a hold of Shane Cole out of Prince Albert.
Well, he played against the Americans in Prince Albert. He played for the Raiders, was not much of a factor. He will be a factor here. McNutt to take the draw against Glenn Goodall, just outside the Seattle blue line. Puck is down, and Dumas has it for Seattle as they win the draw. Another big hit. Fry on Travis. Seattle with the puck, though. Seattle Thunderbirds, they get it out quickly to Goodall. Goodall with it, leaves it off his stick for Travis, has it stolen away, dumped back into the Seattle end by the Tri-City Americans. Seattle with it, though. Malgunas leaves it out front for Goodall. Glenn Goodall across the blue line. Goodall one-on-one, but Krause is all over him. Tried to center it. The Americans knock it away. McNutt out to Krause. Rob Krause leaves it behind for Duval. 1-on-2. Duval tries to get it to Krause, but he just misses Rob Krause, and we have an offsides call.
Rob Krause got in just a little bit faster than Murray Duval could get the puck across the blue line. That constitutes offside.
The puck must precede all the offensive players across the blue line, and that's what you saw happen there. The faceoff will come just outside the Seattle blue line. It'll be Barnes against Gervais. There are a pair of blue chippers for you. And Gervais wins the draw. Seattle with it down in their corner. Sprague goes in after it. Tom Sprague. Sprague whips it around the boards to Vallis. Vallis with it along the boards now, out at the blue line. Vallis to Sprague. Sprague goes left to Schneider. Schneider into the neutral area to Gervais. He gets it across the blue line. Checked off of it by Krause, but here comes Malgunas. A shot wide of the goal. And here come the Americans once again. Barnes with it. Barnes across the blue line. Pulls up short. Head of the slot. Barnes has it knocked off with Gervais' skates. Back to Barnes. It was saved by Kutowicz. Barnes to Spenrath, and it goes in behind the Seattle goal. Seattle with it to Malgunas. Shoots it out now to Dean Ewan. Ewan with the puck to Gervais. Victor Gervais dumps it into the Tri-Cities end, and he goes in for a shift change. Perlin leaves it behind the net. And it comes out Kutowicz to Nibs. Nibs, cross-ice pass, intended for Kwiatkowski, but it goes to Barnes. Stu Barnes. Barnes in the slot. It's down! Great save by Lorenz. Holy cow, what a save by Danny Lorenz.
Some beautiful, beautiful stick handling and skate work right there. You saw it. Stu Barnes. He takes a well-needed rest right there, but that was just some incredible skating.
Well, they've been double shifting Barnes. He's been on there for 2 shifts trying to make something happen, and he's had 2 opportunities where he's had the puck in the slot, great shots, and forced Lorenz to make great saves. Rennie on the face-off for the Americans now against Dean Hall. Rennie wins the draw, takes a shot, and it's blocked by Lorenz. Seattle with it. They bring it up the boards. Comes up the right side. Gertson checked off of it by Nibs. Kutowicz with it. Cutter for the Tri-Cities to Catcher. Back to Kutowicz. Kutowicz pass goes ahead to Rennie. Dogger dumps it into the Seattle end. And the Americans chase in after it as Shannon Travis has it behind his own net. And a shot taken as Kwiatkowski thought he had a clean shot, but it's blocked away. With the puck is Calvin Nibs. Nibs at center ice. Calvin Nibs with it out of Bow Island, Alberta. Nibs takes it in across the blue line, takes a pretty good hit by Dumas, and loses the puck. Seattle back into the neutral zone, but Kutowicz shoots it in, touched by Seattle. Dumas gloves it and drops it for Seattle, but the Americans are there. Catcher at center ice to Kutowicz, and he dumps it in now. The Americans will chase it around behind the Seattle goal. Travis with it. Travis is crunched by Delcourt as the puck is dumped the length of the ice again. Back with it is Krause. Krause for the Americans. It's whipped around the boards out to Duval, but he loses it to Stark and is dumped back into the Americans' end. Krause will have to get it. And we have a whistle away from the play. Either Duval or McNutt, I think, is going to get the whistle here. Let's see.
I believe it's a slashing penalty.
And it is a slashing penalty to the Americans, and it is to Steve McNutt. Nutter draws the penalty at 11:46 of the period. 8:14 remaining in the first period. No score. Tri-Cities against Seattle.
That's only Steve McNutt's 5th and 6th penalty minute of the year. Not a very big, not a place for Steve McNutt to be sitting. He's usually pretty consistent as far as playing by the rules, you might say. But sometimes those penalties are good, though. It slows it down a little bit, and it helps people regroup and get the line changes back on as well.
Goodall on the faceoff against Rennie, and we have a whistle immediately on the faceoff. The linesman didn't like the way the puck went down, so they'll bring it all the way back. McNutt gets it for slashing, as the announcement is made by public address announcer Kevin Gallant. 8:14 to go in the first period here at Tri-Cities Coliseum. Face-off to the left of Frank Furlan. Furlan the magician watching on as Rennie and Goodall will face it off. And they draw one by Seattle out to Malgunas, and we have another whistle. And this will be another penalty as referee Forbes comes over to let the folks in the official scoring place know. The Americans 0 for 1 on power plays. This is...
I believe what just happened was I think that the scorekeeper down here inadvertently pushed the horn.
That could be. The referee goes over to have a word with both coaches, John Olver and Jerry Johansson behind the Americans bench. Barry Melrose behind the Seattle bench. Melrose coaching the Medicine Hat Tigers to a Memorial Cup championship last year. He is a good one. Melrose and Farwell coming out to Seattle from the Hat and trying to build a dynasty in Seattle, much as they did in Medicine Hat. Kwiatkowski wins the draw, but Seattle has it. Malgunas in the slot shot, scores! Well, that happened very quickly. Seattle goes 1 for 1. The only good thing is the power play's over. It lasted 6 seconds as the score comes at 11:54, or 11:52 of the period. Seattle getting the first goal. Let's see who they give the score to. We'll wait for the official announcement to see who actually gets credit for the goal. And getting ready for the faceoff at center ice. Faceoff won by the Seattle Thunderbirds. Malgunas.
Assist to number 10, Glenn Goodall, and the number 6, Stuart Malgunas. And the goal, 11:52. That's Ewan from Malgunas and Goodall.
Dean Ewan getting credit for the goal. Seattle with the puck, but they shoot it in the Americans' end, and Shane Cole has it. And now we have another whistle as the puck is tied up along the boards, apparently. And at 7:45 to go, the scoreboard exhorting the crowd to get with it here. Could certainly use a little bit of noise. The Americans need that boost. The game itself almost an anticlimax after the opening ceremony, and time to get people pumped back up. Stu Barnes face off against Dean Hall. Barnes wins the draw. It goes to Krause. Krause around behind the net for the Americans. Rob Krause shoots a quick pass to LeBrun. Sean LeBrun into the neutral ice area, dumps it into the Seattle end. Goes behind the Seattle goal. Back in there quickly is Spinrath for the Americans, but Seattle with it. Seattle has the puck out at the blue line, stolen away. Here's LeBron, 2-on-1. LeBron shot, score! John LeBron!
The very first goal here in the Tri-Cities Coliseum, and the crowd is on its feet, going nuts. Sean LeBron.
Well, Brunner stole the pass. Puck was stolen. Pass went to LeBron out on the left wing, and he took a good look at Danny Lorenz, made Lorenz commit himself, and then just blew it by him.
Number 7 of the season for Sean LeBron.
And here comes the official announcement. Barnes gets the assist, and Tri-Cities with the puck on the face-off. Here comes Barnes. Barnes across the blue line, pulls up short for the Americans. Shoots a pass across the ice. A shot! Blocked by Lorenz, and there's LeBrun with it out of the wing. In the slot. Spinrath, their shot. He slides it right in front of the goal. Comes out to the boards. Comes out to the wing to Barnes. Scramble for the puck. Spinrath loses it. He goes down along the boards. A great hit by Cole. Almost put the Seattle player in his own bench. And another brawl as Spinrath tangles with Kevin Malgunas. Holy cow, what a hit by Shane Cole.
And I think they're going to call a penalty on both of them.
Spinrath and Malgunas will go sit for a while. And we'll wait to see if anyone gets an additional penalty. Probably Malgunas will, as he came over to take a piece of that's Kevin Malgunas. He and Stewart are brothers, and I think we're going to have 2-minute roughing. We'll wait and see. On the draw, it goes to Delcourt. A shot! A big drive by Delcourt, and it's blocked by Lorenz.
Number 22, Kevin Malgunas, 2 minutes for roughing. The time of the penalty, 13.
Referee Dean Forbes is going to try to control this game. He knows Seattle and the Tri-City teams are the emotions very high. He wants to keep this game under control, obviously.
Good luck. 2 men in the penalty box. A shot by Rennie on the face-off, blocked by Lorenz. Another great save by Danny Lorenz. Delcourt digging forward along with Rennie along the boards, along with Dumas for Seattle. Now Rennie has it. Rennie slides it to Delcourt, loses the pass, and it's stolen back again by Rennie. Dumps it back to the D-men for the Americans. It's Katcher to Kotowitz. Kotowitz to Rennie to Delcourt. Shoots it in front of the goal, blocked by Lorenz easily. Nibs goes in after it behind the net. Nibs and Rennie as they chase in after the puck into the corner. Taken out of there by Lindsey Vallis. Vallis has it stripped away. Big time giveaway by Seattle. Delcourt slides it to Nibs. Nibs wrap around. It hit the pipe and comes back into the neutral ice area, where it slides down in front of the Americans' net. Ferland plays it out to Nibs. Calvin Nibs ahead to Delcourt. Delcourt is crunched at the blue line, and another big hit right there. And I think we're going to have a whistle. Delcourt got clobbered by Jay Stark, and then in there quickly to put up another big hit was Gertson. We'll have a face-off and a shift change as the whistle simply on tying up the puck. We are tied at 1 here in the Tri-Cities Coliseum.
Coach John Alfer is definitely putting it to the guys tonight. Forecheck your own zone and get that puck.
Well, that's what happened. Seattle making a big-time giveaway in front of their own net, and let LeBrun pull the trigger. You don't let him do that very often without giving up a goal. Tom Sprague off the face-off. Shoots it out now to Ian McCammon. McCammon cross ice to Hall. Hall has it taken away from him, and we have a whistle. It'll be offsides against Seattle. On the offsides once again, the puck must cross the blue line, the second blue line, or the attacking blue line, ahead of all the attacking players. Face-off just outside the blue line. McNutt against Dean Hall. Steve McNutt out of Calgary, 3 goals on the season, wins the draw. The Americans have it. Murray Duval. He came in the big trade from Spokane to McNutt along the boards. Has it stolen away by Hall. Hall starts in from the wing. Hall with it, tried to center, he gets it now to McCammon. McCammon out to the blue line to Jay Stark. Stark shoots it back along the boards behind the net. In after it is Dean Hall. Puck is loose behind the Americans' net. Tri-Cities with it. Kwiatkowski, or Jakes rather, shoots a pass over to Duval. Murray Duval ahead to Scherstenka, but Seattle takes it away. Gertson dumps it in behind the Americans' net. Tri-Cities with it. Steve Jakes. Jakes goes left to Duval. Duval with it at the neutral ice area. Leaves it for McNutt. McNutt goes in, centers it for Kwiatkowski, takes a whack at it and missed. Seattle with it. Here comes Tom Sprague. He gets crunched along the boards. Wasn't Sprague, it was Zavisha. And it goes in behind the Seattle goal. 4:32 to go. In the first period, we're tied at 1. Puck goes ahead to Jason White. He shoots it into the Tri-Cities end. Ferland comes out. And the Magician plays it back out to Devin Dirksen. Dirksen takes a big hit, loses the puck to Jason White. White centered, a shot blocked by Ferland. How do you even see it? And the puck comes out to the Americans. Krause dumps it in behind the Seattle net into the corner. Dirksen races in after it along with Malgunas. Puck comes out now to Jason White. scramble for it along the boards. Everybody whacking at it. Comes out to Zavisha. Brad Zavisha, one-on-one. Takes it into the slot. Shot wide of the net. And Kevin Robertson goes in after it for the Americans. Robertson, cross-ice pass to Krause. Krause ahead to Fry. Dumped away by Seattle. Goes into the American zone. Ferland comes out. Takes a hit there by Vallis. And Seattle dumps it in behind the Americans' net. We'll have a delayed penalty call and a whistle. As referee Dean Forbes puts his hand in the air to indicate a delayed penalty.
That's slashing again.
And it will be a slash against Seattle. Oh, I take that back. It's against the Americans.
Yes. Shane Cole.
So Cole gets his first penalty. Comes at the 16:21, 2-minute minor penalty to Shane Cole. Face-off will come at the head of the right face-off circle to the right of Frank Ferland.
Seattle's 1 for 1 tonight on power play opportunities.
This is their second. The Americans 0 for 1. LeBrun's goal coming the Americans at full strength. Barnes against Goodall. Goodall wins the draw. Goes to Vallis. Vallis, a shot! Blocked wide of the net.
Beautiful save.
And the Americans have it. Barnes dumps it the length of the ice. Out is Lorenz to play it, and he'll leave it behind for Malgunas. Stuart Malgunas with it behind his own net as they reset the power play. Here comes Seattle. T-Birds Goodall goes left now to Vallis. Lindsey Vallis gets it across the blue line, dumps it in behind the Americans' net. Ferland is there, plays it off the glass, but Ewan is there to block it. Barnes tried to steal it from Ewan. Now it comes out to Barnes. Barnes 2-on-3. Has it taken away from behind by Gervais. Gervais gets it to Goodall. Goodall to Ewan. Ewan pulls out to the right wing. Centered across in front of the net. A shot by Gervais, blocked by Ferland. Now the Americans ice it once again as Barnes belts it the length of the ice. Seattle goes back after it. Minute 6 remaining in the penalty. Here comes Vallis with it. Loses it, or McNutt takes a whack at it. Can't do it. Vallis, a shot. Falls out in front of Ferland. Scramble for it. Puck's loose. Goes out into the corner. The referee gets pasted. And the puck is still loose behind the net. The Americans' net dislodged. Ferland is furious. I don't know who he's more furious at, but he is hot. He got shoved right into the net. And we may see Americans trainer Jim Craig come onto the ice as Frank Ferland really took a hit.
2 minutes for delay of game. Time for the penalty, 17:31.
Krause taking a penalty for delay. Now it'll be a double power play for 50 seconds for Seattle. Talk about a scoring opportunity. It comes at 17:31. Krause deliberately dislodging the net. That's what Ferland was mad about. Ferland hates that about as much as anything.
That's right. There's 50 seconds left on the penalty to Shane Cole right now, so the Tri-City Americans definitely have their back up against the wall right now.
The penalty killers are Spenrath, Kotowitz, and Hatcher for the Americans along with Ferland. It's 5-on-3. Seattle with the puck. They bring it in. Kotowitz putting a big hit on Malgunas. Puck goes down in the corner and an offsides call. Oh, Frank Ferland is just hot. The play, a big drive. It went straight in, it rebounded off his shoulder pads and went straight up in the air and fell behind him.
I think what Frank's really upset about is I think that Rob Krause was actually pushed into the net, and they went ahead and gave him a penalty for go ahead and dislodging it on purpose.
Could be. Frank continues to speak his piece out there as Seattle finally wins the draw. Now we have a
Puck was gloved ahead by Seattle.
Gloving call against Seattle, and that is that the glove was used to advance the puck. You can catch it, you can touch the puck, but you got to catch it and drop it. You can't use your glove to advance it. Face off in the neutral zone. Spenrath, Kotowitz, and Catcher are the penalty killers for the Americans. Spenner takes a whack at it, but Seattle has it. 30 seconds remaining in the double penalty. Shot into the Americans' end, all the way around behind the net. It comes out to Jason White. White with it. Out to Vallis. Vallis, head of the slot. Feeds left to White. White into the slot. It goes to Dean Hall. Hall comes out with it. Back up front to Vallis. Vallis for Seattle. Less than 2 minutes to play. Underneath to Hall. Hall with it. Right of the goal. Out to Vallis. Vallis. Kotowitz tries to take him down. Takes him into the boards instead. Puck goes to Jason White. Back out front. A shot wide of the net.
And the penalty's done.
Penalty's over. The Americans down by 1. Here comes a shot by Malgunas.
And they cleared it.
And the Americans clear it.
Beautiful, beautiful penalty killing right there.
Americans now down 1 as the penalty to Rob Krause remains. But Tri-Cities with 4 skaters on 5 now. McCammond, Ian McCammond with it for Seattle, goes right to Vallis. Vallis takes it into along the left wing boards up to McCammond. McCammond tries to center it. Can't do anything with it. Ian McCammond with it to Ewan. Head of the slot, a shot by Travis. A big drive, and Perlin blocked it. Goes down into the corner. As the Americans go in to dig for it along with Dean Ewan, and we have a whistle. It was frozen along the boards, and they'll bring it out and face it off. What a save by Perlin.
And totally screened down there by number 19, Dean Ewan of the Seattle Thunderbirds. How he saw that and got his leg up to block that was just beyond me.
I told you that Perlin was a magician.
They pulled that one definitely out of the pads.
Certainly did. 54 seconds remaining in the period. 25 seconds remaining in the penalty to Krause. Face-off will come to the right of Tri-City Americans goalie Frank Perlin.
What a test for the young Tri-City team to kill 2 penalties right here at their own home Coliseum and do it in some pretty reasonable style, too.
It certainly was. Barnes against Goodall on the face-off. Face-off won by Tri-Cities, and it's shot down into the neutral zone by Kwiatkowski. Lorenz has to come out and play it for Seattle, plays it to Tom Sprague. They'll reset the power play. 14 seconds remain in the power play. Around behind the net goes Seattle. Sprague with it. Sprague shoots across ice to Travis. Shannon Travis being hooked by Kwiatkowski, loses the puck off into the corner. Goodall with it. Glenn Goodall has it stolen away by Barnes. Power play is over. Here's Krause. Krause on a breakaway. Krause to Barnes. Shot goal!
Beautiful pass by Rob Krause. He just got out of the penalty box, passes it into the middle, and Stu Barnes right there with the goal.
Comes at 19:41 of the first period, and the Americans take a 2-goal lead, a 2-goal-to-1 lead. Well, it happened to the Americans earlier. Earlier in the season, they had a player step out of the penalty box, steal the puck, and go in unmolested. This time, Tri-Cities making a turnaround to do it to Seattle.
And coming off a great penalty killing, too.
Indeed it was. What a lift. Anytime you get a penalty in the last minute. Now the Americans win the draw. Jakes with it. Shoots it into the Seattle end. 13 seconds remaining. Seattle's Malgunas goes in after it. Americans try to keep it alive. Comes out to catcher in the neutral ice area. Catch shoots it back into behind the Seattle goal. 3 seconds. 2, 1, and that'll be the end of the period.
A very exciting first period of play here at the Tri-City Coliseum.
And at the end of the first period, the score: Tri-Cities 2, Seattle 1. Back in 2 minutes on this KOTY Americans hockey broadcast. See what can happen as they come out of the dressing room all cranked up and ready to play. Well, referee Dean Forbes is ready to go. Seattle, incidentally, has 10 players who are 6'2" tall or taller. 13 players who tip the scales at 200 pounds or more. These are some big boys.
Yes, they are, and they know how to hit. Play hockey very well.
And they have 3 big league draft picks on this Seattle club. The Americans have 4. And they have Tri-Cities has 1 player who's expected to be high in the NHL draft, that being Stu Barnes. And Seattle with 1. Hockey News says Lindsey Vallis will be the #1 pick in the NHL draft. Now, he's coming off an injury, and he's not played that well, but he continues to get stronger game to game. Barnes will face off against Dean Hall. Barnes wins the draw, gets it back to Catcher. Catcher now to Cutowitz. Cutter into the neutral ice area, stolen away by Seattle. Snap pass down into the corner. Ferland comes out and plays it. Plays it out to Spenrath. Spenner along the boards for the Americans. Spenrath being sticked down from behind by Gertson. And Seattle with the puck. They leave it behind, but it's stolen out of there again by the big redhead Spenrath. Now Catcher blasts it down into the Seattle end. He takes a hit from McCammon. Puck is loose in the corner. Seattle with it as they try to bring it out. Stick handled out by Dean Hall. Hall goes down, and he's tangled up right there along the boards. Good defensive play by the American Spenrath and Stu Barnes.
Ian McCammon for the Seattle Thunderbirds decides that I think they got a little pep talk inside the locker room, came out and decided to throw a nice check right out here at center ice.
Well, I'd say pep talk is probably one of the more polite ways to put it. Face-off will come at the top of the circle to the right of Danny Lorenz. Danny Lorenz out of Burnaby, British Columbia, 5'10", 176 pounds. Not much bigger than Frank Furlan, an inch taller, 10 pounds heavier. Seattle winning the draw. Thunderbirds bring it up. Thunderbirds get it ahead to Malgunas. Malgunas to Dean Ewan. Ewan across the blue line goes to Gervais. Shoots it across in front of the net. But Ewan couldn't get there for the deflection. Puck stolen by the Americans. Right in front of the net as Duval almost loses it in front of Furlan as they whack at it. Furlan out alongside the net. And it goes along behind the net now, out to Kwiatkowski. Kwiatkowski's pass stolen away, goes back to Spenrath. Spenner, long pass across the ice. Kwiatkowski will chase it into the corner. Kwiatkowski goes in after it, takes a pot from Malgunas. Comes out to the blue line. Americans with it. McNutt loses it between his skates. Ewan gets it out for Seattle to Gervais. One-on-one, Gervais out at the point. Shoots, slides it across in front of the net. And down in a hurry as Duval put down one of the Seattle players. He put Vallis down big time as Kraus goes across the blue line for the Americans, and we'll have an offside call there.
It looks like...
Go ahead, Tony.
It looks like Vallis is over there. He's up against his own bench, and he's not doing too well. Murray Duval put him behind the net and put him right up there where the lights are.
If this was pro wrestling, that would have been called an atomic drop because he picked him up. Duval picked him up from behind and dropped him right where he sits down. Rennie wins the draw, comes out to Catcher. Catcher for the Americans. Catch dumps it in behind the Seattle net. Lorenz plays it. Leaves it behind for Darcy Simon. Simon out along the boards. Here come the Thunderbirds. The Birds in green. They flip it down into the Americans' end. Goes up against the glass. Furlan plays it out to the blue line. Shot shoveled across to Goodall. Goodall shot blocked by Furlan. Drops right in front of the slot. Walking in on it is Goodall, but he can't get to it. A big drive from the right side by Seattle goes around behind the net. Catcher goes in after it. This ice is really slick. Puck right in front of the net. Blocked by Furlan. Another block. Comes out to Travis. Travis goes on the right side now to Darcy Simon. Simon's hit by Nibbs. Nibbs pasted him to the boards. Comes out to Shannon Travis. And we have a whistle as they...
we have a penalty.
Well, we're going to have a...
That's right.
Cross-checking will be the call. Cross-check is the call, and it will go against Catcher. Catcher gets whistled at 2:14 of the period. You will notice in hockey, the clock runs down from 20 minutes, all right, but they tally everything backwards. Seattle has the power play. This will be their third of the game. The Tri-Cities penalty killers, McNutt, Kwiatkowski, with Jakes and Rob Kraus. Face-off, Goodall wins the draw for Seattle. Comes over to Lindsey Vallis. Vallis with it back into his own end. Vallis wheels around through his own end, brings it into the neutral ice area. Vallis across the blue line. Stolen away by Kraus. Kraus dumps it the length of the ice. Back in behind the Seattle net. Left there for Malgunas by Danny Lorenz. Malgunas to bring it out. Malgunas shoots a pass on the right side to Goodall. Goodall across the blue line into the neutral zone. Dumps it into the Americans' end. Furlan stops it behind the net. Furlan out with it. He'll shoot it back to the blue line glove there. A shot! Deflected in front of the net. And goes out to Ewan along the boards. Ewan along the side. The Americans will have it. A great check there as Kwiatkowski brings it down. Plays it off the boards. It goes in front of the Seattle net. Lorenz leaves it behind for Vallis. Vallis' shot stolen by Jakes. The Americans have it as Nibbs scrambling with it at the blue line. Nibbs and Delcourt. Delcourt's pass knocked down by Vallis. Vallis brings it up. A blast! Furlan blocked it. And Kennewick knocks it away from the net. Back into the corner it goes for Seattle walking in front. A shot blocked by Furlan. A score as the rebound comes out to Ian McCammon.
He almost had another pull out of the hat type trick there, and I'll tell you what, that first block with the stick just left him a little bit out of control, and McCammon right there to pick up the rebound, put it up in the upper corner.
Furlan doesn't usually give up saves like that, but he doesn't usually give up rebounds like that, but in this case, it came right out in front, and McCammon had an easy shot at it, and he flipped it right over the top of Frank Furlan, who was down in a heap. As they say, put it in the elevator, push the up button, and it went right in under the crossbar. And we're tied at 2. The goal comes at 3:26. And we'll see who they give the assist to. Face-off goes to Kennewick.
The number 16.
Assist goes to Dean Hall. Kennewick with it in front of his own net. Flips it up into the neutral ice area.
Both teams are at equal strength as well.
As the goal by Seattle killed the penalty. A big hit there. Down goes Seattle. Thunderbirds try to bring it down to the Americans' end, but they lose the puck. Goes in to the corner. Catcher has it for the Americans. Evades a check. It comes out to Barnes. Barnes ahead to LeBrun. There goes the big guy. LeBrun along the left wing board. Centers it for Barnes. Barnes can't get to it. Seattle takes a whack at it, but is kept in play by Spenrath. Seattle with the puck now. Dean Hall. Hall trying to get it out of his own end. They get it ahead to McCammond. McCammond into the neutral ice area, but it's taken there by Rob Krause. Krause with it. Wheels through his own end, looking for a pass. Finds Barnes, but it's stolen away by Malgunas. Malgunas loses it to Catcher. Catcher, and it's dumped into the Seattle end, and we're going to have a fight. I think Barnes roughed up. Another big hit in the corner as Devin Dirksen laid some lumber on Malgunas. Into the corner it goes as Fry takes a belt on Darcy Simon. The Americans dig for it along the boards. Robertson and Fry along with
little scuffle
Simon,
down there.
now we're going to have a rough. Well, maybe not. This game is getting rough. There are some big hits.
As you can see, and it's going to get that way as the game continues.
Rock'em sock'em. It off comes Kevin Robertson.
What do you think the fans would have called on that one?
Boy, 2 for 3. And Seattle on power plays. Here's the 4th one.
We have a Seattle player in the bench as well.
Seattle number 20. Seattle's number 10, Glenn Goodall, and the Tri-Cities number 20.
Kevin Robertson is sitting in the penalty box.
Roughing is the call.
4-40.
The team that will not create a power play opportunity. So Seattle 2 for 3 on power plays. We're tied at 2. Penalty comes at 4:40 of the period. And McNutt being chased out of the face-off circle. Now Dirksen goes in. Dirksen against White. Seattle wins the draw, and it goes into the Americans' end. Tri-Cities back for it. Krause goes around behind his net. Krause takes a big hit, but he gets it out to Fry. Fry to Dirksen. Dirksen, McNutt. McNutt with it. Has it stolen away there by Jason White. The puck goes into the Seattle end, into the corner. They shoot it out to neutral ice. Here's Krause with it. Lofts one in front of the Seattle goal. Comes down in the corner to Tom Sprague. Sprague behind the net, and Dirksen goes in hard after him. Comes out to the blue line. Krause with it. He'll keep it in play for the Americans. Seattle with it now. Out into the neutral zone. Stolen away by McNutt. McNutt starts in, centers it in front of Lorenz, but nobody there to help him. Stark with it for Seattle. Now they dump it into the neutral area. Krause has it. Gets it to Cole. Shane Cole shoots it into the Seattle end. Tri-Cities in a quick shift change. Goes behind the Seattle goal. Out to Zavisha. Zavisha, good pass. Gets it ahead now to Vallis. Vallis works in from the left side. Centers it. Tri-Cities save. Slid across in front of the net, but Furlan and Nibs there to keep it from doing any damage. Cole shoots it out along the boards. Shot! Block goes wide of the net. Blocked by a defenseman out front as they scramble for it. Digging around for it is Delcourt. Delcourt digging away against Gervais. Now in after it is Shane Cole. From behind is Vallis. Cole, another big hit. Delcourt. Delcourt popped by Gervais. Gervais and Delcourt go down. And the puck goes to Gervais around behind the net once again. Seattle has Ewan out in front. Now the Americans shoot it the length of the ice. Seattle will go in after it. And as soon as they touch it, it'll be icing.
Dean Ewan and Calvin Nibs were sitting down in front of Frank Furlan down there, giving each other a little bit of elbow room. And Dean Ewan is very much known throughout the league as far as his penalty.
Well, Ewan may be the best fighter in the league.
Exactly.
He is maybe he's not the, I don't think he's the best hitter in the league, but he's probably the best guy when it comes to dropping the gloves and taking a swing at somebody.
He's the Seattle policeman, as they call it.
He's the guy. Face-off will be Dean Hall against Stu Barnes. Face-off to the left of Frank Furlan. Also in for the Americans are LeBrun and Spenrath, along with Scherstenka and Krause. Seattle stealing it in the slot and knocking it away is McCammond. tried to get it. Good defensive play by Scherstenka. Puck goes into the neutral zone. With it is Dean Hall. Hall for Seattle, and we have a whistle. Penalty against. Oh, now we're going to have a big one. This should be a good one. Spinrath and Simon. They drop the gloves. The hats are off, and here we go. The big redhead against Simon. Spinrath gets in the first hit. He gets a good one to the back of Simon's head. Another pop. Simon goes down. Spinner on top. We'll give that one to Greg Spinrath.
I have to agree with you. And he's exercising something right there. Boy, the mouth is moving still.
Well, the big guy is not a happy person as he and Darcy Simon tangle. Spinrath and Simon will both get 5 minutes for fighting. There may be an extra penalty here. We'll have to wait.
I believe there's an interference call.
Penalty comes at 16:35 or at 6:35. We'll have to wait for the referee to finish making his call. As
I did see a penalty there as well.
I think there was, and there may be an instigating penalty too. We'll have to see as they explain it to the officials down below us alongside the penalty box.
And I believe it's against Seattle. Interference penalty.
To number 6, Stuart Malgunas, 2 minutes for interference. And to number 21, Darcy Simon, 5 minutes for fighting.
Malgunas getting a penalty for interference.
The penalty goes to number 27, Greg Spinrath.
All of this happens at once, but it will give the Americans a power play opportunity. They're second of the night. They're 0 for 1 so far. Now the two captains talking. Sean LeBrun wearing the A, which is an assistant captain. And for Seattle is Jay Stark as they talk with referee Dean Forbes. Coming up for the Tri-City Americans, the Brandon Wheat Kings featuring the goalie phenom, Trevor Kidd. I'll tell you what, this 16-year-old is really something. He is an absolute, he's as good today as Frank Ferlin is. Okay? Ferlin's a 20-year-old. Ferlin will undoubtedly play in the National Hockey League. And Trevor Kidd is just 16 years old. He won't even be eligible for the draft until next season.
This is Tuesday night. Tickets are still available.
That's right, at the Tri-City Coliseum box office.
That should be a very good one.
Should be. And then on Thanksgiving, the Portland Winterhawks. Well, Jack Forbes has had his notepad out, and he's been a busy man down there with pad and pencil. He goes over for a quick word with the Seattle coach now. And we'll just stay right here. We're in the middle of the second period. 13:25 to play in the second here at Tri-Cities Coliseum. The fans have been in here. They've put up signs around the arena. There's one over there that says number 8, Fry, keep your chin up. And up is scratched out, and it says on. He caught a skate in the chin about 2 weeks ago against Seattle. Lost about a pound of meat off the end of his chin, and he's been spending some time with a plastic surgeon. And of course, one of that the fans will learn to watch and learn to enjoy as much as any is Barnes-Arama time, because I'll tell you what, he is something to watch.
That's exactly right.
13:25 to play in the second period. You know, you buy tickets to Tri-City Americans games, you'll find coupons on the back. Good for, well, you get most of your ticket money back in coupons from Coliseum sponsors. And of course, we invite you to remember the sponsors whose names you hear on our broadcast and mention to them the fact that you do listen to Tri-City Americans hockey and that you appreciate the fact that they make it possible. You have some of our sponsors with us tonight over in the box watching tonight's game, along with some of the KOTY people tonight. A great opening ceremony, a tremendous hockey game. These two teams will create one of the better rivalries in the league. Seattle with 3 bodies in the penalty box. Tri-Cities with 2, as Robertson and Goodall finish up their roughing penalties, which are just about over. But Tri-City's on a power play. Seattle with 3 guys in the box. The Americans win the draw. And Kennewick almost loses it. Now Barnes has to go get it. Barnes out to LeBrun. LeBrun back to Catcher. Catcher goes on the left side to Kennewick. Cutter across the blue line, shoots it in behind the Seattle goal. Goes all the way out to the corner, kept in play by Seattle as they whip it the length of the ice down to the Americans' end. Ferland goes after it. Ferland, the magician, leaves it for Kennewick. Cutter in behind the net. He'll leave it. No, he won't. He'll fake it and take it out himself. Goes out on a pass to Catcher. Catcher, 3-on-2 for the Americans as Catch breaks across the blue line. Catcher with it. Back out to the point now. To Kennewick, to Barnes at the right point. Back to Cutter. Cutter slides it down the slot and it's blocked out front. Kwiatkowski in after it along with LeBrun. Scramble for the puck out to the point. Kennewick to Barnes. Back to Kennewick. Kennewick, Catcher. Back to Kennewick. Kennewick at the point. Barnes with it. Stu Barnes. Americans on the power play. Back out to Kennewick to Catcher. Catcher's shot. Just blocked by Lorenz. And LeBrun and Kwiatkowski go in after it. Down goes Dumas. Slide around behind the net for Barnes. Barnes goes after it. Barnes along the boards. Leaves it behind for Kwiatkowski. Kiwi with it. Back to Barnes. Stu Barnes. 37 seconds remaining in the penalty to Kennewick. Back to Barnes. Barnes slides it across to LeBrun. Back to Catcher. Catcher shoots it down off the boards for Barnes. Barnes back out to LeBrun. 26 seconds remaining. Catcher and LeBrun. Sean LeBrun head of the slot. Won't take the shot. LeBrun with 2 guys in there to block. LeBrun wraps around the net now. LeBrun back out front to Kennewick. Back to LeBrun. Sean LeBrun. 9 seconds. Catcher to Barnes. Shot wide of the net. One time by Barnes, and he couldn't get Goodwood on it. Out to LeBrun. To Kennewick. Back to Catcher. Penalties over. Catcher's shot blocked out front by a Seattle defenseman. Here come the Thunderbirds. Schneider loses the puck to Tri-Cities. Barnes with it. Stu Barnes evades a sweep check there by Gertson. Back to LeBrun. LeBrun into the Seattle end. Goes in behind the Seattle goal. Seattle with it. Tri-Cities digging for it along the boards. Barnes and LeBrun and Delcourt now in. Craig Delcourt. Barnes is hammered right in the face. He got some wood. And the puck comes out to Stu Barnes. Barnes with it at the blue line, turns and flips the shot in, but Seattle has it. Now Seattle will ice it the length of the rink as soon as the Americans touch it. Nope, Sherstenka, it was not an icing call as it's centered right in front of the net. Jakes takes a whack at it for the Americans. Seattle trying to get wood on it. They can't get to it.
There's a penalty coming.
Sherstenka will have a delayed penalty coming as it comes out along the board.
Seattle.
Delcourt with it. Delcourt to Rennie. Rennie is hooked down from behind it. Now we'll have the whistle. We may have 2 of them.
There may be, and there's a fight going on.
Jakes and Dean Ewan. Oh boy. Jakes is one of the Bruce brothers. He gets a good one on Ewan. He got an elbow right in Ewan's face. Dean Ewan's a good fighter. Jakes takes a pop. Ewan and Jakes trading left hands. Steve Jakes, one of the Bruce brothers. He and Greg Spenrath, they grab each other's jerseys. I don't know. We may or may not get any more punches in. Ewan's shoulder pad is showing. Jake says, hey, I just can't take that kind of treatment from Ewan. Steve Jakes gives up some size to Ewan. He's 180 pounds. Dean Ewan, 6'2", 207 or more. And now the linesmen step in to break it up.
Steve Jakes leads the Americans with 80 penalty minutes. And he picked a pretty good foe there in Dean Ewan from the Thunderbirds.
Well, one thing about Steve Jakes, he's not afraid of Ewan. And that one comes at 9:38 of the period.
You know, I'm not sure if the Tri-City fans here are knowing which side is the players' box. We have so many down here in the penalty box.
You're right. They are...
They're kind of wondering what's going on over there.
Well, I'm not sure there's room. They're Jakes and Spenrath, the Bruce brothers, in there together now, along with Ewan and Simon.
2 minutes for cross-checking.
And Ewan gets 2 minutes for cross-checking, which gives Tri-Cities another power play. This is their 3rd of the night.
They seemed a little lethargic on that last power play. They were very deliberate in their passes.
They just weren't able to get him on net.
Yeah, exactly.
John Oliver over there saying, pull the trigger, pull the trigger. Face-off will come to the right of the Seattle goalie, Danny Lorenz. And Lorenz has made a couple of big saves tonight.
He's been very good as a netminder tonight. Very good.
10:22 to go, second period here in the Tri-Cities Coliseum. We are tied at 2, Seattle and Tri-Cities. Well, we have another Thunderbird headed for the penalty box. Maybe that penalty
for Seattle will be Kevin
Malgunas will serve the second penalty on Ewan. Tri-Cities on the power play. They win the draw. Comes out to Duval. Fans on a shot. Seattle with it. They'll ice it the length of the floor. Comes out to Ferland. Ferland will play it out to Delcourt. Delcourt to
Gets
Rennie.
him in a line change.
Rennie caught Seattle in a line change and got dumped off the puck by Shannon Travis. Seattle with it. They shoot it the length of the ice. Another couple of big hits as Delcourt or Duval goes in after it. Duval to Rennie. Dogger plays it off his skates. Steve Rennie to Kraus. Back to Steve Rennie. Rennie with it. Rennie brings it across the blue line. Rennie for Tri-Cities. Takes it in around behind the Seattle net. Rennie back out front now to Murray Duval. Duval, a draft pick of the Rangers for Rob Kraus. Kraus has it stolen away. Here comes Schneider. Schneider 2-on-1. Schneider in the slot. Slides it down. Ferland blocks it. He'll cover it up. What a job by Ferland the magician. Seattle a clean breakaway, and Ferland making the big save. Woo!
That was real close there.
And the scoreboard says, what a save. 59 seconds remaining in the Tri-Cities power play. This has been the worst power play in the league, connecting only 13% of the time. That's something the Americans have got to change.
Exactly.
It's been looking better, but power play is a thing of timing. Barnes in to take the draw against Gervais. Victor Gervais out of Prince George, British Columbia. Tri-Cities winning the draw. Barnes with it. Barnes for the Americans. He'll start the line rush. Barnes brings it out. Gets it across the center line. Stu Barnes with it. Ahead to LeBrun. Back to Catcher. Loose puck along the glass. Taken out of there by McCammond. Ian McCammond loses it to Catcher. Catcher. Barnes ahead to Kwiatkowski. Kiwi back now to Kutowitz.
Barnes has lost his glove.
Kutowitz brings it up to Catcher. Catcher with it. Glove sits in the top of the slot. Stolen away, a clean steal. McCammond. McCammond walks in, a big shot, and it's shot right up into the crowd.
That's the very first souvenir for the Tri-City fans here.
I bet you there's somebody over there that just learned lesson 1 of being a hockey fan. You duck, you don't catch. That thing comes sailing up there at 80 or 90 miles an hour, and it's as hard as a baseball.
That's right. As a matter of fact, they freeze approximately 24 of the pucks before the game. The reason they do that is to make the pucks very hard and that they slide a lot better on the ice.
Yeah, and they don't bounce, but when they're deflected into the crowd, they can really give you a shot. 19 seconds remaining in the penalty to Dean Ewan. Barnes will face off against number 10, Glenn Goodall. Barnes and Goodall to face it off to the right of Frank Ferland. 8:41 to go, second period. We're tied at 2. Seattle wins the draw. Drive wide to the net. Ferland never saw that one. Shot taken by Dumas. And it's dumped back into the Seattle end. Lorenz will play it. Looking for a teammate. Leaves it behind the net. Goes to Dumas. Back out to the point for the Americans. Kept in play. Devin Dirksen wraps it around, but he can't get a shot. Back out to Barnes. Catcher. Catcher at the point. Leaves it for Barnes. Back to Catch. Out of the penalty box comes Seattle's Malgunas. Steals it away. Malgunas starts in on Ferland. Kutowitz is back. Malgunas fans at a shot. And Ferland cleans up the mess. Ferland gets it ahead to Dirksen. Dirksen for the Americans. Dirksen's pass intended for Barnes. Can't do anything with it. Seattle back with it. Clean breakaway is Seattle as Malgunas starts in on Ferland, but he's caught from behind by Rick Fry. Now the Americans with it. They get it to Dirksen. Dirksen takes a tremendous hit by Travis, and Travis goes down. Dean Hall with a puck. Gloved by Duval. Shot, a drive wide to the net. And the puck comes back out to the neutral zone. Shot down into the Tri-Cities end. Penalties are over. The individual penalty still being served, but the power play opportunity is over, and the Americans are 0 for 3 as the puck is frozen along the boards. What a drive by Duval. He had the opportunity, but it just couldn't find the net.
And the fans here are going to have to get used to that glass will protect you. And as you can see the reaction of the fans down in the corners, they still are a little gun shy.
Yeah, that one hit the net, hit the glass, probably going 80 or 90 miles an hour. McNutt to face off now against Dean Hall. McNutt and Hall to face it off. Now McNutt will be asked to leave the face-off circle, and Kwiatkowski comes in, one of 320 rolls on the Americans team, facing off against Dean Hall, newly acquired by Seattle.
The Americans are definitely in their defensive face-off.
And Kraus with the puck as Kiwi wins it. Goes up along the boards. Taken out of there by Shane Cole now. Cole gets it to Kraus behind the net. Back to Shane Cole. Cole to Kraus, and the Americans try to break out. Kraus ahead for the Americans, but Seattle stealing at the blue line. Back now to Cole. Cole looking. Can't do anything with it. Gets it across the ice to Kraus. Rob Kraus ahead now to McNutt. Nice pass. Here goes McNutt. Splits the defense. Has it taken away by Seattle back into the neutral area. Another big hit as Dean Hall is without his stick, so he's doing the damage with his hands. And now Kraus with it for the Americans as he went back and got it. Leaves a pass along the dasher board. Goes into the neutral area and taken there by Dumas. Back in his own end. His pass hits Duval from behind. Duval keeps it alive. Kwiatkowski headmans to Duval, and it goes into the corner instead. Dumped down into the corner. Dumas goes after it. A big hit there by Kwiatkowski or by McNutt. And the puck down into the Tri-Cities end. Ferlin there to leave it behind. Ferlin to Catcher. Comes out now to Delcourt. Craig Delcourt, cross-ice pass. Saved at the blue line by Delcourt. Delcourt in the slot. Shot! Glove by Lorenz. Good job by Danny Lorenz. In after it is Rennie. Seattle with it. Stark shoots at the length of the ice all the way down into the Tri-Cities end. 6 minutes to play in the period. We're tied at 2. Big hit there on Kennewick.
And we got another one.
Whistle. Ooh, and got some sticks in the air here.
That's right. That's no good.
Ooh, the fans right down beside it finding some excitement. A couple of Seattle players really put the hit on Kennewick. And the scoreboard showing what's probably happening more than anything, and that is two guys yapping at each other. Kennewick.
You got to hand it to these linemen too, that get in there and break this up. These guys are a lot bigger. The players are a lot bigger than some of these officials, and it sure takes a lot to get in between some of these guys. Zavisha
and Kennewick. Penalty comes at 14:02 of the period, and it will be roughing.
The party continues down there in the penalty box. I don't think I've seen that thing clear all period.
No, I don't think so either. Either they're serving pretty good refreshments down there or something. Zavisha and Kennewick. 2 minutes for roughing. And what that is the league has said we got to stop this carrying on after the whistle. And the whistle was blown, and those two kept at it. And when that happens, they both hit the hardwood for a while. Rennie wins the face-off for the Americans, but it comes back across the blue line, and Catcher will have to go get it. Catcher to Scherstenka. Scherstenka ahead to Delcourt. Loose puck right in front of the net. In front of the Americans' net, and we have a whistle. Seattle had a player offside. Offside Seattle. Face-off will come outside. They, well, actually just at the center line, where the pass was, where the puck was passed from. 2-2 the score. 5:47 remaining second period. Tri-Cities Coliseum, the Americans and Seattle. Seattle winning the draw. Shot in there by Darcy Simon. A shot taken out front by Malgunas, gloved by the Americans. Delcourt with it. Here comes Delcourt. Delcourt in a hurry on Lorenz, and it's broken up beautifully by Darcy Simon.
What a check. A great, great shoulder check right there. That's hockey, folks.
Simon taking Delcourt out from under his helmet and away from the puck, because Delcourt had Danny Lorenz beat. He had him beaten to the wide side of the net, and
that's what a defenseman is taught to do, is to go and take the player out and not go after the puck.
Well, and that's exactly what he did. He took Delcourt right off the puck, and Delhi will go clear the cobwebs a little bit. And it'll be the line of Barnes, LeBrun, and Spinrath, along with Shane Cole and Rob Krause for the Americans. Stu Barnes wins the draw. Shot by LeBrun. Hits somebody, skates out front. Barnes takes a whack at it, and a loose puck right in front of Danny Lorenz. And more chirping as Spinrath goes in there. Gets right in front of Lorenz, and the defenseman try to clear him out, and Spinner's hard to move.
And that's a design play, by the way. Spinrath is to just kind of lull right in and to basically blind the goalie.
Now another LeBrun in the slot. Takes a shot, and it's blocked. Comes out to Cole. Cole shoots it in behind the net. Barnes goes after it. Leaves it for Spinrath. Spinner around behind the net now. To the left wing boards. Another great hit by LeBrun. LeBrun with it. Sean LeBrun leaves it. Spinrath a shot. He ran behind the net. Centered again. Spinner takes a whack at it. But no, Seattle has it out to the blue line. It is Dean Hall with the puck. Hall nearly loses it. It goes loose into the Americans' end. Krause goes after it.
Beautiful hip check by Rob Krause.
Krause with it behind his own goal. Krause with it. Gets it ahead now to Spinrath. To Barnes. Barnes. LeBrun, a shot. Blocked by Lorenz. In the slot. Spinrath a whack at it. And it won't go in the hole. Loose. Barnes takes a whack at it. Now Seattle with it. Barnes goes down.
Got a penalty.
Yep. Barnes is clubbed by number 7.
And it's against
Schneider.
Seattle.
Schneider and Stu Barnes start to go at it. Schneider cross-checked Barnes right in the chops. And Barnes wants to go. Barnes is not normally a fighter, but I'll tell you one thing about Stu Barnes. You mess around with him long enough and he'll drop the gloves, and you'll discover that he can be a fighter when he needs to be. Both teams taking advantage here for a quick shift change as Schneider is escorted to the penalty box with at the 5 or at the 15:27 mark.
Thunderbirds to number 7, Andrew Schneider. 2 minutes for roughing.
It's called roughing.
15:27.
We are tied at 2. A roughing penalty against Schneider. Andrew Schneider of Seattle. Out of Edmonton, 5'9". He's listed at 145 pounds. Don't believe that.
The Americans need to convert this power play opportunity.
They're 4th, and they are 0 for 3 so far. They win the draw. It goes to Duval. Duval back out to Jakes. Jakes goes left. Scherstenka. Dan Scherstenka at the point, up to Jakes. Head of the slot. Back to Scherstenka. Scherstenka feeds a pass to Duval, and it's stolen away. Seattle dumps it the length of the ice. Ferland comes out. He'll play it back up to Duval. Duval catches Seattle in a shift change, but Seattle reacts quickly. It's Jakes getting it across the blue line. Steve Jakes for the Americans. To Kwiatkowski. Loose puck. Scrambled for Dumas. Comes back out to Duval. Duval can't keep it in play. Gets it over to Scherstenka. Scherstenka shoots it in along the boards. Back for it is Lorenz. Lorenz for Seattle, taken off his stick, comes out to Jakes. Jakes along the boards, loose puck in the slot. McNutt with it, leaves it behind for Jakes. Jakes centered it for Duval, back to McNutt. Drive! He fanned on the shot, and it goes right down in beside the Seattle net now. McNutt in after it. Steve McNutt around to Duval. Duval centered to Kwiatkowski. He fanned, is knocked down. They try to shoot it in, can't do it. It goes back into this Tri-Cities end.
Kwiatkowski and Duval were both sitting in the middle of the slot waiting for that puck.
And could not get wood on it. Down in the corner it goes as Krause has it beside his own net. Krause for the Americans. Pass goes ahead now to Stu Barnes. Barnes to LeBrun. LeBrun pulls up short along the left wing boards. LeBrun with it. Goes down in the corner. Defense by number 6, Stuart Malgunas. Good job. Krause goes to catcher. Catcher LeBrun. LeBrun with the pass along the boards. Looking for Spinrath.
Watch this.
They get it back now to Krause. Krause, a quick slap shot. And the puck goes straight up in the air, and the Americans will have to hustle to get to it. Jakes, Krause has it knocked away, knocked into the neutral area. Here comes Gervais.
And we're going to have a penalty.
Taken down by Barnes.
Penalty.
Hooking penalty against Barnes as he took Gervais down from behind.
And Kennewick just came out of the penalty box.
Penalty comes at 17:27. As the penalty to Schneider just ended. Just exactly to the second ended. And now Tri-Cities 0 for 4. Seattle gets their 4th power play opportunity of the night here in the second period at Tri-Cities Coliseum.
I think Coach John Oliver is going to be taking that statistic of 0-4 and looking at how many times they had the opportunity. And
well, they've had them.
Exactly.
Oh, they've had them. And they've had bodies right in a slot. They've had Danny Lorenz turned inside out and just not able to make it happen.
Well, you got to credit the Seattle defense on that as well.
Their penalty killer is doing a super job. It is Rennie to take the face-off for Tri-Cities. He wins the draw. And the Tri-City penalty killer shoot it into the Seattle end. Lorenz leaving it for Vallis. Lindsey Vallis behind his own net. Vallis, who may be the #1 draft pick this year, nearly loses it to Rennie. Gets it ahead now to Travis instead. Travis's pass to Gervais. Gervais in the slot to Goodall, and Goodall overskates the puck, and he can't do anything with it. Comes out along the boards now. Rennie digs after it. Rennie, sort of a one-man gang out there. Back to Vallis. Vallis's pass goes over to Dean Ewan. Ewan across the blue line. Ewan has it stripped away by Rennie. Dogger with it. Steve Rennie loses it. Delcourt there. He chips it into the Seattle end. Thunderbirds with the pass. Thunderbirds. Shannon Vallis with the puck. Vallis to Gervais. Gervais across the blue line. Victor Gervais passes across to Lindsey Vallis. Vallis shoots it into the corner. Tri-Cities goes after it. Comes out to Delcourt. Delcourt chips it out to Devin Dirksen. Dirksen one-on-one. Dirksen beats his man, gets in the slot, and is checked off the puck by Malgunas.
Less than a minute in the penalty.
49 seconds. The Americans getting 2 potential shots here on a power play. Now it's out to Ewan. A slap shot blocked by Ferland.
Beautiful
Great save by Ferland as Dirksen knocks it into the neutral zone. Back for it is Malgunas. And a whistle as we'll have a high stick. Now, was it played off a high stick? Yeah, it was played off a high stick, and it will just be a face-off. It won't be a penalty, but they'll face it off the point of infraction.
Watching Seattle going down in front of Ferland when they're doing their penalty power play, they send the 2 forwards in to try to draw both defensemen in, and if one of the defensemen doesn't go back and take one of the forwards, they can just drop that pass off, and then they have an open shot on Ferland.
On the face-off, Robertson takes the face-off. It's chipped toward the Seattle net. But the Thunderbirds back for it. They pass ahead to McCammond. Ian McCammond across the neutral zone to Zavisha. Zavisha to Hall. Hall with it. Along into the corner it goes. Americans in after it. Catcher. Trent Catcher. Nibs took a whack at it. Malgunas with a puck. A drive down the slot. Another big drive blocked by Ferland.
Great stick face.
Holy cow, what a save by Ferland.
And another souvenir for the fans.
Tell me that isn't a guy who needs to have stars and crescent moons on a tall pointed hat. Holy cow, what a save by Frank Ferland. 5 seconds remaining on the penalty to Stu Barnes. 38 seconds on the clock. And of course, with Barnes in the penalty box, the Americans are without one of their better penalty killers. Rennie in there now to take the face-off against Dean Hall. Rennie and Hall to take the draw to the left of Ferland. We're tied at 2. 38 seconds to go. Face-off goes out to the boards. McNutt has it. He'll ice it the length of the ice down to the Seattle end. Barnes' penalty is over, and here comes Stu Barnes. And he's ready to play. Seattle with a pass across to McCammond. Ian McCammond stolen away by Krause. Back out to neutral ice. Shot across the ice. And the Americans have it as Seattle dumped it into the Americans' end. Jake's with it.
Ooh.
Almost stolen away by McCammond. Jake's got a little sloppy there.
Suicide pass there.
Jakes goes after it along the board. Scrambled with Dean Hall and Rennie. Now Rennie gets it to McNutt. McNutt. A big drive by McNutt wide of the net. Barnes for it as time runs out. Whew. McNutt cranked up and took a drive from outside the blue line, and he might have had Lorenz fooled, but it was just a little bit offline. So the score at the end of the second period here at Tri-City Coliseum, the Americans 2, the Seattle Thunderbirds 2. Back in 2 minutes on this KOTY Americans hockey broadcast. couple of periods.
Well, you know, our guys were certainly pumped. They didn't need skates. They were floating on ice without them. You know, they were certainly pumped and probably were a little nervous, if anything. And they came out. They were a little tentative in the first period. And they want to win this one so bad for the town and for the fans and opening night and everything. I mean, there's nothing they won't do to get the job done. But Seattle is equally pumped. I mean, they want to come in here and they want to, you know, show us who's boss. And they're trying to win this one awfully bad too. And there's a lot more emotion on the ice than there would normally be in a league game.
I think that's true. And with the big crowd tonight, the Tri-Cities team hasn't seen anything near this kind of crowd. Not last year at New West, those players who were there, and certainly not in the 17 games on the road. And it's made a lot of difference.
No, they would have played against crowds this size in Portland and probably you know, Regina and some of the bigger eastern cities.
But not their own.
Not their own. Not their own. There's a big difference. And they say, you know, a good crowd is worth a goal. And this is a great crowd. This is a wonderful crowd.
Well, Ron, let's see if we can get this crowd to manufacture a goal in that third period and put win number 6 in the win call.
That would be nice.
Ron Dixon, the owner of the Tri-Cities Coliseum and the Tri-City Americans Hockey Club, the man responsible for making this happen. Thanks very much for joining us.
Thank you, Kirk.
Look forward to talking to you as the season develops.
Thank you, Kirk.
Well, we'll be back in 1 minute with the Tri-City Americans and Seattle Thunderbirds tied at 2 back in 1 minute on this KOTY Americans hockey broadcast. Kerry, we're in. Ron, thanks. Okay. Yep, we'll be back at Tri-Cities Coliseum. Kirk Williamson along with Tony Ott. And Tony, they are ready to rock, roll, and make it happen in this third period.
That's right. And matter of fact, they've got to do it this third period, or at a 2-2 score, we may be looking at an overtime job tonight.
Well, the Americans got outshot pretty badly in that second period, and that's something that they do not like to see happen.
Exactly. Only 4 shots on the net. That's not a real good second period.
Well, and Seattle getting 14, which means the Americans have been outshot 28-15 in the first period. First 2 periods. We're ready to get it going right now. Rennie with Nibs and Kwiatkowski for the Americans. At the blue line, Barnes and Jakes. For Seattle, it will be, to take the draw, will be Victor Gervais. He has Vallis and Ewan across from him. The defenders are Malgunas and Simon. The draw comes to Simon. He takes it in on Furlan. Goes into the corner now. They scramble for it. Nibs working on Vallis. Vallis takes a poke at Jakes now. Great check. Out at the blue line, a shot deflected by Furlan, goes into the corner. Kraus will chase it down for the Americans. Kraus to Jakes, and he shoots it out of play. Jakes tried to get it ahead, but it hit a Seattle Thunderbird stick and went out of play.
Gervais really threw a nice hip check into Calvin Nibs there, right here at the corner of the blue line.
Well, they say that Victor Gervais is going to go very high in the draft. He has 15 goals, 21 assists already for 36 points. He's high among scorers in the Western Hockey League. He's not at the top, but he's right up there. Dean Hall to take the draw against Barnes. Hall wins the draw, and it's shot in behind the Americans' net. Back for it is Kutowitz. Kutowitz gets it out now to LeBrun. LeBrun takes a pop along the boards, and Barnes takes it off his skate. Barnes bringing it out. Here comes Barnes-Aramo time. Stu Barnes across the blue line. Feeds a pass intended for Spinner. Spinner couldn't get to it. Back out to Catcher. Catcher drives it down the slot. Goes in behind the net. Barnes after it. takes a whack at it. Barnes and LeBrun. Seattle with it now. They shoot it out to the point. Catcher there to save it. Catcher to Barnes. Barnes to Spenrath. Centered for LeBrun. Barnes, a shot blocked by Lorenz. What a job by Danny Lorenz.
And there was some excellent, excellent passing going on there.
Well, he could have a magic hat tonight, too. Boy, you talk about rolling the dice. Woo.
Sean LeBrun passed it right through the slot there. And Stu caught it right there and threw a nice shot in there. That's a good save, too. You know, I was taking a look here a little bit earlier. Stu Barnes has two idols.
Well, let the record show that the first wave in the Coliseum comes at 1856 of the period.
This is looking really good.
Actually comes at a minute and 4 into the third as the Seattle Thunderbirds win the draw. Puck goes out now to Krause. Krause, a shot into the slot. Goes to Duval. Duval tried to get it to Kwiatkowski. Darren couldn't handle it. To Duval. Duval along the boards. Murray Duval with it. Out to the point. Duval being checked off the puck. Now Ewan goes in after it for Seattle. Dumps it out into the neutral zone, and Krause keeps it in play. Takes a puck from Lindsey Vallis. Goes in behind the Seattle net. Scramble for the puck. Duval with it. Duval working on Dean Ewan. Ewan is pasted by McNutt. But Seattle has the puck. They lose it. Bad pass, Krause. Krause with it. Gets it up to Kwiatkowski. He's clobbered by Darcy Simon. But Duval is in after it. We have a whistle. It will be
There's a penalty. Looks like holding.
A holding penalty. We'll wait and get the official call. Comes at
The American penalty to number 24, Derek
Kwiatkowski.
2 minutes for holding. Time of the penalty, 1 minute.
Minute and 51 of the period.
I think we're picking up right where we left off in the second period.
Well, and that's something that drives John Oliver nuts, is penalties. This team is one of the better penalty killing teams, mainly because they've had to be. So the penalty killing team is Rennie, Nibs, Catcher, and Jakes. Rennie wins the draw. It goes to Jakes. Jakes gets it ahead to Nibs. Calvin Nibs shoots it into the Seattle end. Lorenz comes out for it, and right in behind the net is Vallis. Wiping out right into the net is Krause, and Seattle with looks like Rennie really took a shot. He got wiped out right in front of the net. They'll haul the play down. Malgunas checking him into the net. And we'll not have a penalty call. I thought maybe there would be, but Rennie's going to have to leave the ice. He really got smacked.
Very slow getting up.
He got knocked clear back into the net. I think the crossbar got him in the head. That probably hurt whatever Malgunas left untouched. 24 of the penalty to Kwiatkowski, a minute 44 remaining in that penalty. We're tied at 2 here in the third period. Face off inside the Tri-Cities blue line. Delcourt to take the draw against Schneider. Schneider wins the draw, comes out to Malgunas. Shoots it in behind the Tri-Cities net, goes over to Jakes. Jakes keeping it in play. Goes out to the point now to Vallis. Lindsey Vallis with it. Now the Americans get a stick on it, ice it. Jakes whacks it the length of the ice. Seattle goalie is out for it. And behind the net goes Malgunas. Malgunas with it. This is Stuart Malgunas. Gets it ahead now to Vallis. Lindsey Vallis across the blue line. Gets a screen from Ewan, but he's taken down. Puck goes loose in the corner. Jakes will chase it, and we have a penalty coming up. Jakes along the board. Steve Jakes takes a big hit, and a whistle blows. We'll have a penalty momentarily. Scoreboard says great check.
Looks like elbowing.
And the penalty will go against number 19, Dean Ewan.
Registration is $50 for the season, an unbelievable low price. It covers ice time, instruction on
2 minutes and 46 seconds into the period. Dean Ewan draws the penalty. That kills Seattle's fourth power play opportunity, or fifth rather. They're 2 for 5, and the Americans will have a power play when the penalty to Kwiatkowski is over. That would be their 5th. Now it's 4-on-4 for the time being, and that's always a lot of fun to watch. There's a little more room on the ice. Seattle with it. They get it ahead to Gervais. Gervais crushed by Krause. and Rennie takes the puck away. Rennie with it to Krause. To Steve Rennie, another big hit, and we have a whistle.
Offside.
Offside against the Americans as Rennie got in a little ahead of the puck.
Just barely, though.
4-on-4. It's Jakes and Krause are the D-men. Dirksen and Rennie are the forwards. 42 seconds remaining in the penalty to Kwiatkowski. 1:37 in the penalty to Dean Ewan.
The Americans are definitely coming out a little bit more stronger and a little bit more power underneath them. Do you think that Coach John Oliver had something to say to him?
He's capable of lighting a fire. Yeah, Glenn Goodall facing off against Rennie, and it's kicked into the Tri-Cities end. Krause back for it. Krause will go back behind his own net for it, and icing will be called as Krause touches it at behind the goal line.
Rob Krause seems to be really fired up.
The penalty for icing, of course, is to bring the puck all the way back down and face off at your opponent's goal. Icing is basically whacking the puck out of play or delaying the game by shooting at the length of the ice. Hockey does not respect the long pass. Rennie to face off against Goodall. And Goodall skates in and gets asked to leave now. Dean Hall will come in to take the draw as Goodall was a little over anxious. Puck is down. Seattle wins it. Seattle with it. 4-on-4. Pass goes ahead now to Goodall. Goodall nearly loses it in the neutral zone. He does lose it to Krause. Rob Krause with it across the blue line for Rennie, but it's taken away by Jay Stark. Stark for Seattle whips it around the boards, but Murray Duval is there. Krause a shot blocked by Lorenz. Seattle with it. Seattle shoots it into the neutral zone, but Krause there for the Americans. Pass ahead to Rennie, taken off his skate by Stark. Stark, a big drive. Ferland blocks it into the corner. Around into the corner for it is Dumas. Here comes Tri-Cities. Duval with it. Murray Duval. Pass goes right to Jakes. Jakes with it. Evades a big hit, gets it ahead to Murray Duval. It's 3-on-2 as Kwiatkowski's on the ice. And we have a whistle. Penalty to Kwiatkowski is over. Teams will change shifts very quickly on the offside call.
Like to remind fans that
and the
next home game when Brandon Weeking.
Big Railroad is running here for the Americans as they have a power play opportunity. Number 5 of the night. They're 0 for 4 so far.
They have 47 seconds left on it.
And the puck shot down into the Americans' end. That'll waste about 10 seconds as they go after it. Ferland will leave it for Kutowitz. Cutter with it behind the net. Hands it out to Rick Fry. Fry losing it. Tried to get it to Barnes. And it was slapped back into the Tri-Cities end by Dumas. Now LeBrun goes after it. Sean LeBrun. LeBrun with the puck. Bringing it up the left wing boards. Brunner across the blue line. LeBrun puts a move on. Goes around behind the net. Loses the puck there to Dumas. Scramble for the puck behind the Seattle net. Barnes and LeBrun. They chip it out front now to LeBrun. LeBrun with it. Across to Kutowitz. Cutter's big shot. Blocked out front by Dumas. Dumas for Seattle. 2-on-2. Dumas gets around Kutowitz. Loses the puck to Spenrath. But Seattle with it. They center it. And it comes out at the head of the lane. Head of the slot to Malgunas. He backhands one. Nothing on it. And LeBrun has it for the Americans. LeBrun evades a hit. Goes to Barnes. Barnes takes the hit. And Ewan back for the pass. Ewan plays it to Simon. Darcy Simon off the boards, and he'll bring it in. Dumps it into the corner. And the Americans go back after it. That's Shane Cole. Cole gets it ahead to Kwiatkowski. Tied up along the boards. And it'll go back to Krause. 14:40 to play in the hockey game. Shane Cole leaves it back for Kwiatkowski, and he takes a belt. Cole rolls it around behind the net now to Krause. Krause trying to get it to Duval. Can't do it. Krause and Duval chasing after the puck. Now the loose puck picked up by Barnes. Shoves it ahead to Rob Krause. Krause has it stolen away from behind by Schneider. Schneider loses it to Barnes. Barnes losing it, but Duval is there. Stolen away from him by Zavisha. Zavisha 1-on-2. He'll take it into the corner. Slides it across the crease. Ferland come out and took the corner away from him. Or took the angle away. And it's Gertzen in the corner. Scrambling with Duval. They exchange a couple of quick punches. Puck slides across in front of the Tri-Cities net. Kwiatkowski falls on it. Now it's shot the length of the ice. Back for to Seattle. Travis. Penalties are over. Both teams at full strength. It goes right to Goodall. Goodall shot blocked by Furlan. Goes down to Jakes. Ooh, that rebound came right out in front of the slot. Jakes with it for the Americans. Centers it now to Scherstenka, and he dumps it into the neutral ice area. Picked up there by Dumas. Dumas ahead to Goodall. Goodall tried to get it in the Americans' end. It goes in the corner. He's Ewan after it. He takes a belt, and Scherstenka brings it out. Robertson just pasting Ewan against the boards.
Some great
hit. They get it ahead to Kevin Robertson, but Dumas takes it off his stick. Now Seattle shoots it into the Americans' end. Kennewick with it as Furlan whips it around the boards. Goes out to Dumas. His shot deflected. Goes around to the right of the net. Out to Robertson. Robertson whacks it back to Dumas. Another drive. Almost deflected in by Scherstenka. Dan Scherstenka hit him right in the back. Fry goes in after it. Rick Fry along with McCammond. McCammond back to Dumas. Another shot. A drive by Dumas. Blocked by Furlan. The Americans with it. Goes up to Dirksen. Dirksen slides it in for Robertson. And out to bury it is Lorenz. Danny Lorenz had to come out to bury that one, or it would have been big trouble. Now Dirksen doing a little chirping with Stuart Malgunas, but I think that's all that's going to happen. They didn't lay a hand on it. Well, they did. Dirksen and Malgunas are going to get called for roughing.
The referee is definitely trying to take control of this. That looked like good old-fashioned hockey to me.
That certainly did. The penalty comes at 7:20 of the period.
I think the fans are letting it know right now that we want to see some hockey here.
Both teams remain at full strength. Rennie to take the draw against Hall. Puck is down. Running at Hall. A shot toward the Seattle goal is wide of the net. Lorenz goes out, plays it out to the wing to McCammond. McCammond tried to pass to a teammate, and it goes loose into the Americans' end. Kennewick goes after it. Shoots it up the boards with it taken off his stick by Kevin Malgunas. Scramble forward behind the Americans' net. Catcher has it. Catcher's pass ahead to Rennie. A little too hot. Rennie couldn't handle it. Back to the blue line. Seattle losing as the Americans wheel through. And now Delcourt takes it in. Delcourt, a shot blocked again by Lorenz. It's put up against the glass. Nibbs taking a whack at it. Nibbs out to Catcher. Catcher keeping it play to Calvin Nibbs. A drive wide to the net. Lorenz never saw it. Comes out to Rennie. Rennie with it. Gets it to Delcourt. Delcourt slides it in, but it's taken away from him. Delcourt tried to center it. Now scrambled along the boards. Delcourt shot taken by Nibbs wide of the net. In for it is Krause, and is chipped into the neutral zone. And Catcher will have to go get it for the Americans. Trent Catcher to Nibbs. Nibbs across the line. Big drive blocked by the skate of Darcy Simon. In around behind the net it goes. Picked out of there by Brad Zavisha. Zavisha ahead to Malgunas. He slides it along the boards into the neutral zone where Krause has it for the Americans. Krause to Rennie. Tried to get it to Nibbs, and Seattle the only players there. Seattle in green, the Americans in white. First time of the year. Pass across ice to Sprague. Tom Sprague takes a hit. What a shot by Krause. Rob Krause with the puck. Krause gets it to Barnes. Here comes the Barnes-orama. Has it stolen away and shot in toward the net by Gertson. Now back for it is Frank Furlan. Furlan whips it around the net to Goodall. Goodall plays it for Seattle. Now Barnes behind the net for it. Barnes out to Spenrath. A big drive from the point by Stark. And it's lost off the boards. It was wide of the net. Comes out to the blue line into the neutral ice area along the boards. Taken by Dumas. Dumas pass goes left to Zavisha. Zavisha tries to get it ahead to Vallis. Vallis takes it in, a shot! Scores! Lindsey Vallis. How he got that shot away, I don't know. Had a defenseman wrapped all over him.
He went right by Spenrath and took it right in and shot it up to the glove side, up in the upper corner of Frank Furlan.
10:32. Furlan has blocked a bunch of shots tonight. And tonight, that one getting right by him. Scoreboard says lucky, but that was a good shot.
That definitely was a very good
by
shot.
By Vallis.
And the small Seattle contingent sitting off to our left over here is very excited about that.
Comes at 9:28 of the period. I did not hear who got the assist. The Americans with it. They take it in. Shot blocked by Lorenz. In quickly as Murray Duval backhands one on Lorenz, and Lorenz came out and smothered it. Good job by Duval on the faceoff to try to make something happen, but it wouldn't go.
And that's what you need. You need to go right back and attack after you've been attacked.
Faceoff will come to the left of Lorenz. McNutt to take the draw with Duval and Kwiatkowski the wings. He'll take the draw against Dean Hall. The puck is dropped. McNutt wins the draw. Duval, a shot, score! Murray Duval! And they're all over Duval in the front of the ice here. Look at him go. He's excited about that. Boy, he lit the lamp with that one. What a shot! High fives from everybody on the bench. And we're tied at 3. It comes at 9:42, just 24 seconds after the Seattle score.
That's his third of the
14 seconds.
Third goal of the season for Murray Duval. And the assist goes to McNutt. And Tri-City's winning the draw. The Americans with it. Jakes gets it over to Duval. Murray Duval for the Americans. We're tied at 3. Quick answer as Jakes has it in the neutral zone. Shoots it into the corner. Seattle chasing after it. Lorenz leaves it behind the net. In goes Duval. Duval centered it. Jakes a shot! Blocked by Lorenz. Duval goes after it. Duval with it. Puck's loose along the boards. Now here comes Seattle with it and a whistle. We have a penalty.
Interference will be the call. And it will go against Seattle.
Another power play opportunity for the Americans. And the fans are loving it here.
Goes against Sprague. Penalty comes at 10:10. This is power play number 6 for the Americans. 2-minute penalty to Sprague for interference.
It looks to me as the Americans are now playing with some sort of mission on their mind. They want to make sure that they win this one, their very first home opener.
I think they have, how shall we say, they have stared into the abyss of what happens if you lose tonight, and they came out ready to play in this third period. Barnes against Goodall. Barnes winning the draw. Out to Catcher, to Kutowitz. Plays it off the boards now to Spenrath in the corner. Barnes in after it as it slides down onto the boards. Now Kutowitz keeping it in play. Goes around behind the boards. Behind the net, LeBrun to Barnes. Barnes behind the Seattle net. Dumas all over him. Barnes tried to center to Spenrath. Gloved by LeBrun and shot down. Played it off the linesman. I don't know what the linesman was doing getting his skate on that puck, but
it left the blue line, passed it, and back into the zone. Offsides.
Offsides is the call as it came back in off the linesman. The linesman is considered part of the ice in that kind of a situation. Now they're trying to get a wave started again. Here it goes. Just outside the Seattle blue line, Americans win the draw. To Kutowitz. Kutowitz slides in and around the boards. In after it is LeBrun. Leaves it for Barnes. Back to Catcher. Catcher to Kutowitz. Cutter shot deflected by Lorenz into the corner. Kept in play. Nope, just lost by Catcher. Now Kutowitz slams it into the end, into the Seattle zone, but it comes out across the blue line. Catcher trying to get it now. It's taken back by Spenrath. Spenrath to Kutowitz. Quick shift change for the Americans.
A minute left on the penalty.
Kutowitz with it. Catcher back to Cutter. Kutowitz ahead to Barnes. Barnes around the time. Barnes is tied up by Darcy Simon at the blue line.
And the fans are definitely getting into it now.
Now the fans are getting into the game, and it's dumped back into the Tri-Cities end. Ferland comes out. He'll play it ahead to Kutowitz. Left for LeBrun. LeBrun to Catcher. Catcher with it. Catcher at the blue line. Puck is dumped back into the Tri-Cities end once again. It's the Americans unable to penetrate the Seattle zone. Here comes Jakes. Jakes the pass to Kwiatkowski. Darren will have to chase it. It goes into the corner. Big hit along the boards. Now LeBrun puts on a big hit as they scramble forward along the boards. Out to Jakes. Jakes to Catcher. Catcher shot. Wide of the net to Barnes. Back to Barnes at the wing. To Lebruni 1 times and he missed. Wide of the net. Barnes on the power play. 3 seconds, 2 seconds left. Barnes.
Teams are in equal strength.
Kwiatkowski turns around. He couldn't get it in as Lorenz came out and buried it.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Well, I have to say, Kirk, off of that power play, that was probably the best work power play I've seen so far tonight by the Americans.
Well, and Barnes is 6,004. The attendance tonight, a total sellout.
Remember, Tri-City fans, that you need to be here for Tuesday night's game as well against the Brandon Wheat Kings. And the tickets are going to be on sale tomorrow at 9 o'clock in the morning.
9 o'clock in the morning, and the next 3 Americans performances as Ferland goes out to play a balloon now. That was thrown in by the crowd. I'll tell you what, we've seen some great goaltending tonight, but when Brandon brings Trevor Kidd to the ice, he's 16 years old. And I'll tell you what, he is a phenom. Face-off, Rennie against Gervais.
And a stray puck down there.
Stray puck dumped on the ice. Linesman threw it a little short of the glass. Now it's we're ready to go. 7:47 to go in the third period. Tied at 3. What a hockey game. Back into the corner, Rennie, but Seattle wins the draw. Out to Dean Ewan. Ewan's pass stolen by Dogger. Steve Rennie with it. Rennie splits the defense, but it's dumped back into the neutral zone. Jakes has it. Jakes shoots it into the corner, and the Americans go in after it. Tri-Cities with it along the boards. Comes out to the point. Rennie with it. Rennie to Krause, and Krause loses it. Ewan goes after it. Ewan and Jakes. Ferland comes out. Shoots it right in Ewan's face. Centered, slid across in front of the lane. Ewan wants to go after Ferland. They get it to Nims. Nims a shot! He scored! Oh, they lit the lamp, but it didn't count. Nims, it was saved by Lorenz. They lit the lamp, but it doesn't count. Nims to Delcourt. Delcourt, his shot blocked by Lorenz. Rennie around behind the net, and it's shot back out to the net.
And we have a penalty. We have a penalty down here.
Now we're going to have a hooking penalty.
And you're right, Kirk. That lamp did lit right down there.
But it apparently was waved off because it didn't cross the line. Didn't cross the goal line. That'll happen once in a while.
The Tri-City fans are going to have to get used to the fact that the goal counts only when the referee points at the player that scored it.
And the penalty comes at 13:06 of the period, and the Americans still waiting for that power play goal. They're 0 for 6, their 7th power play opportunity. Well, they've run some good power plays, just haven't been able to drill it in. 2 minutes to Ian McCammon for hooking. A lot of belly aching going on down there around the Seattle goal. Danny Lorenz has had his hands full in this third period. He had basically had the second period off.
Exactly.
But I'll tell you what, the young man's had to bring his lunch pail for this one. Tri-City Americans with their power play unit on, one of them anyway, Duval, Kwiatkowski, and McNutt. You'll not find anybody that works harder than those 3 guys. Scherstenka and Jakes are the D-men. McNutt will face off against Goodall.
A couple of tough point men back here for the Americans as well.
McNutt and Goodall. Nutter wins the draw. No, Seattle with it. Dump back into the Tri-Cities end. After it quickly is Jakes. Jakes will have to hustle as Schneider beats him to the puck. Seattle centers it, but Tri-Cities with it. Jakes. The Americans have been guilty in the past of big giveaways in front of Frank Ferland. This time they get it back into the Seattle end. A shot on goal. Flip. Nick Nutt almost had it. It came out in front of Lorenz. McNutter shot it just wide of the net. Brings McNutt out to Scherstenka. Dan Scherstenka with the puck. Goes to Kwiatkowski. Back to Scherstenka. To Jakes. Jakes right to LeBron. Shot by Duval is wide of the net. And Lorenz is down. He really got hit with that one.
He's hurt.
He's hurt. And here comes Jakes. Jakes.
Seattle on a line change.
Seattle in a line change, but the Americans also changing lines, and we have a whistle. And they'll stop play as Lorenz
is really hurt.
He took that one right in the ribs, and it was a blast. Danny Lorenz goes down, and while he's being attended to, we'll take timeout. 30 seconds on this KOTY Americans hockey broadcast.
Or other hockey games at the Floating
Schwab. Seattle has another netminder on the bench, and he appears to be loosening up. That's Corey Schwab out of Battleford, Saskatchewan, and he will indeed come on to replace Danny Lorenz. Lorenz took that big blast from out on the wing, and he took it right in the ribs. He tried to block it, tried to catch it. It got by his glove and went right in the breadbasket, and that had to hurt. He was turning funny colors and looked like he might be going to make his breakfast go on the ice there for a minute.
It looks like his jersey right now.
He really took a hit. He's about the same color as that green jersey, but I think he's going to stay in. He's going to skate it off. Corey Schwab came off the bench, and now Schwab's being sent back to the bench by the Seattle trainer, as Danny Lorenz will stay in. He'll do a couple little stretching exercises there. You'd think with all the padding it'd be hard for a goalie to get hurt, but when you take a shot the way that one came at 80 or 90 miles an hour and it doesn't hit anything but your ribs, it's going to smart. And he really took a belt. 6 minutes to play in the hockey game. We are tied at 3 here in Tri-Cities Coliseum. It'll be Barnes to face off against Gervais. Puck is down. It comes out for the Americans to the blue line. Kennewick keeps it in play. Kennewick, no, he loses it to Seattle. 58 seconds in the penalty, but Barnes back to take it away from Gervais. Stu Barnes wound up and wiped out. Barnes loses it to Gervais along the boards. McCammond with it, but it goes back to Sean LeBrun. LeBrun puts a move on McCammond. LeBrun with it. LeBrun across the blue line. Over to Barnes. LeBrun is taken down by 2 defenders. To Barnes, leaves it behind for Kutowicz. A drive out front, deflected out into the slot, and Seattle gets it back into the neutral zone. Ferland comes out to play it for the Americans. Ahead to Catcher. Catcher to Spenrath. To Barnes in the slot. Barnes has his stick handled away from him. Great play by Malgunas.
Very good play.
Malgunas to Schneider. Schneider goes back for it, but Catcher's there. Catcher for the Americans. Passes ahead to Barnes, and it goes into the Seattle end. Barnes can't handle a pass. There is Malgunas with it. He shoots it out along the boards. Kutowicz can't keep it in play. And it comes over to Calvin Nibbs. Nibbs to Barnes. Barnes in the slot. Slides it to LeBrun. And it's wide of the net. Centered by LeBrun as it comes off the boards with nobody home. And Seattle brings it down. Penalty is over. Both teams at even strength. Up to Barnes. Barnes nearly tripped up. Stu Barnes with a puck. Barnes shoots it into the neutral zone, but Dumas is there for Seattle. His pass knocked down by Krause. Krause chases it into the corner. Krause out to Nibbs. Nibbs deflects it to Delcourt. Delcourt 1-on-3. He'll wait. He wipes out. Seattle with it. Here comes Malgunas. Malgunas to Hall. Hall slides it in on Ferland. Goes behind the net. They tried to jam it in from the side. Can't do it. Goes out along the boards. Rennie goes after it. And Hall. Hall with it for Seattle. Taken off his stick by Rennie. Dogger loses it, but Krause is there. Krause, as Seattle's Vallis gets dumped. There's Delcourt, a drive wide of the net.
Just missed.
Delcourt walked in and just missed wide of the net. Now it's taken off his stick by Rennie. Delcourt and Rennie digging at it along with Jay Stark. Just to the right of the net, the Seattle net. Kept in play by Seattle, knocked the length of the ice. Krause touched it for the Americans. And Ferland comes out of the net to leave it for him.
Both teams with the line change right now.
Krause shoots it back, or shot back into the Tri-Cities end. Duval with it. Rory Duval loses it. A quick shot blocked by Ferland. Oof. A big shot by McCammond from out front, and Ferland there to block it.
Great leg save. Puts it out into the audience.
What a job by Ferland the Magician. And the faceoff will come just outside the Tri-Cities blue line. We're tied at 3, 3:26 to go. Sudden death overtime coming up if the score doesn't change.
The Americans haven't even played an overtime game.
Not yet. McNutt with the puck. McNutt, as he gets through the defense, gets across the blue line, forces Lorenz to come out. Jakes tried to center it, had it knocked away. Back to Kutowitz. Kutowitz with it. Shoots it down in behind the Seattle net. As they scramble for the puck. Along the boards. McNutt working with Kutowitz. Cutter shoots it toward the net. Gloved by Danny Lorenz. And we'll stop right there.
Little volleyball with the hockey puck there.
Ladies and gentlemen, for your information, if the game is tied, there will be a 3-minute...
If the overtime goes into effect tonight, the Seattle team has played 3 overtime games. They are 0, 1, and 2. They've ended 2 of them in ties. And we could very possibly end up having an overtime game. There's 2 minutes and 51 seconds left in the third period of regulation.
We're tied at 3. Goodall against Barnes in the Seattle end. Linesman is ready. Barnes and Goodall are ready. The puck is down. The puck goes into the corners. Benrath after it, but Seattle with it. Now Barnes goes in, digs it away. Goes into the corner, comes out now to Kutowitz. Cutter's drive. Blocked beautifully by Seattle. Malgunas. Malgunas gets it ahead now to Zawisza. Zawisza tied up as he and catcher go at it along the boards. Puck is loose down along behind the Tri-Cities net. And the faceoff will come to the right of Frank Ferlin. My, oh my.
Catcher played excellent defense, stayed with his man, took his man all the way into the boards, and forgot all about the puck and let the other defenseman go ahead and grab the puck.
Well, I'll tell you what, Zawisza was not happy about that either. Brad Zawisza out of Hines Creek, Alberta. He's 6 foot, 195 pounds, and he knows how to play the game. Rennie will face off against Gervais. Scramble for the puck, Rennie and Gervais. Nibbs takes it off of Rennie's stick. Nibbs gets it to Rennie. Rennie across the blue line, tied up by Stark. Puck goes into the corner, but Nibbs and Rennie dig it out. Now Delcourt's after it. Delcourt into the corner with Shannon Travis. Scramble for the puck as Delcourt loses it off his stick to Gervais. Gervais shoots a good pass out to the wing for Dean Ewan, gets it back. Pass goes to Vallis. Vallis dumps it into the Tri-Cities end. 2 minutes to play. Hatcher and Vallis go slamming into the boards. Scramble forward behind the Tri-Cities net. There's Vallis with it. 2 Americans pound on him. Now Ewan comes in and takes a blast at everybody. And I think we're going to have the puck frozen there.
It is frozen against the board down there.
And we'll have a fight in about a second here, but not.
With some of the help of the fans behind the glass there as well.
Yeah, they're starting to get into it. Pounding on the glass. Dean Ewan kind of got to that pileup a little late. I thought maybe he was going to draw one there, but he didn't. We're tied at 3, 1:44 to go. My goodness, what an exciting game.
Great way to open it up here at the Tri-City Coliseum.
Certainly is. Face off to the left of Ferlin the Magician. Coming up next Tuesday, the Brandon Wheat Kings. Then on Thursday, Thanksgiving Day, the Portland Winterhawks. Face off, Barnes against Hall. Barnes has been double shifting tonight. He has been on the ice a bunch. Scramble for the puck. Seattle wins the draw. Backhand shot by Gertson, deflected off the skates. LeBrun goes in after it. Gertson pastes him to the boards. A shot, a big drive by Malgunas. Blocked by Ferlin. Back to the neutral zone. The Americans with it. Krause going after it. Shot back toward the Tri-City zone. It'll drop in front of Jakes. Jakes gloves it, shoots it ahead to Spenrath. Spenner into the Seattle end. It'll be icing when it's touched by Seattle. No, it won't be. It was touched. They rule it was touched by a Seattle player. Here come the Thunderbirds. Gertson stolen away by Barnes. Barnes one-on-one on Lorenz. Beats his man, but he's taken out of the play by Malgunas. Good defensive play as Barnes is upended next to the net. Comes out to Krause at the wing, but Seattle has it. Shot along the boards. Krause to Hall. Hall center to shot.
The Magician does it again. Pulls something out of his hat, and I tell you what, he's played one heck of a game tonight.
He has 39 seconds to play. Travis with it for Seattle. Gertson. Barnes shoots it across the ice to keep it in the Seattle end. comes out to neutral ice for Duval. Murray Duval for Tri-Cities. A big drive, and it goes in behind the net. Lorenz there, leaves it off his stick for Travis.
20 seconds.
Out to Kennewick. Tried to center it. He did for McNutt. McNutt into Kwiatkowski. Turns, whacks center punch twice.
Covered up.
And it's covered up by Darcy Simon.
12 seconds left in regulation.
Face-off will come to the right of the Seattle goaltender.
This is an exciting game.
Boy, these Americans have had some big shots on goal in this period, but Seattle's had some big shots too. Merlin, the magician, look at him down there. He looks like he's half asleep. Got his helmet up over his forehead. He's taking a drink out of that Pepsi bottle down there, sort of like, well, another day at the office. If you talk to him, that's the way he thinks about the game. He comes in, punches the time clock, and goes to work.
Puts on the little magic show and then goes home.
Yep, he's not an office type. He comes in and wearing a blue collar and punches the time clock and goes out, makes bricks or does whatever he does for the day, and then he goes home.
Well, that type of attitude definitely fits well with the Tri-City area.
Barnes with McNutt and Kwiatkowski for the Americans. The Blue Liners are Kennewick and Catcher. 12 seconds to go. The fans getting cranked up just to the right of the Seattle goal. Danny Lorenz shaken up earlier on a big blast.
You got to hand it to Lorenz. He's played one heck of a game as well.
Certainly has. 12 seconds remaining. Kwiatkowski and Barnes going around and around trying to decide who's going to be where. McNutt to take the draw. Puck goes behind the Seattle goal. Comes out to Ewan. Knocked down by Catcher. Catcher. Big hit on Catcher that goes in behind the Seattle goal. Comes back out to the blue line. Barnes a shot, and it's stopped as time runs out.
We have overtime.
And Barnes and Goodall about to go at it there. They don't. 3 minutes timeout, and then we'll be working overtime. So we'll be back in 1 minute on this KOTY Americans hockey broadcast. Back at the Tri-Cities Coliseum, Kirk Williamson along with Tony Ott. Well, we're taking care of business and working overtime tonight. Tied at 3, Tri-Cities and Seattle. First meeting between these two was kind of an embarrassing whitewash. Danny Lorenz beating the Tri-City Americans by a score of 5-0. The Americans came back and pounded their way to a 3-2 victory over Seattle a couple of weeks ago on a Sunday night. Here we are on another Sunday night, eyeball to eyeball with the Seattle Thunderbirds, tied at 3. Absolutely no voice left. A sellout crowd of 6,004 here at the Tri-Cities Coliseum.
Not one
and
of
then
them left.
overtime coming up.
Nobody has left.
No, if they left, they done missed a great hockey game.
That's right.
We're tied at 3, a 3-minute break here, and then we'll be back for the overtime period. It's a 10-minute sudden victory overtime. You score, it's all over.
And as I had mentioned earlier, too, Kirk, Seattle has played 3 overtime games so far this year, and this is the very first one for the Tri-City Americans. Kind of a funny thing. They're playing their first home game in the new Coliseum, and overtime for the fans here.
Well, the closest they got to overtime was the one in Portland that was tied at 4. Portland scored with 32 seconds remaining to win it in overtime in a game in which the Americans lost 3 draws in a row, and that doesn't hardly ever happen. This team excellent at winning the faceoff. Portland getting 3 shots on goal. First one deflected into the crowd, second one caught by the goalie, third one deflected in. Olaf Kolzig in goal that night for the Tri-City Americans.
Well, I tell you what, that old friend Momentum, I believe, is sitting on the Tri-City American side right now. And,
well, I think so too.
And they need to take that into this overtime and take care of it and get it over with.
So this crowd needs to get into the game too. They need to be jumping up and down and yelling and hollering and pounding on things and making it happen.
Exactly.
McNutt with Kwiatkowski and Duval for the Americans. The Blue Liners are Kraus and Jakes. For Seattle, Gervais, along with Vallis and McHammond. On the draw, McNutt loses the draw, and Seattle with it. Goes to Malgunas. Malgunas shoots it into the Americans' end, but Kraus is there. Kraus for Tri-Cities. Lets it roll over his stick. Gervais goes in after it. Comes out along the boards to Kwiatkowski. They dig for it along the boards. McNutt, Kwiatkowski. It finally comes out as Gervais gets it loose, but it's taken off his stick by the Americans. Kraus. Kraus ahead to Duval. Murray Duval slides a pass to Kwiatkowski. Nearly loses the puck. Gets it back, and we have McNutt offsides. Couple of big hits exchanged by Kwiatkowski and Darcy Simon, but there'll not be a much of a scramble. A quick line change for the Americans.
I think the crowd finally heard you there, Kirk.
Greg Spenrath comes on along with Barnes and LeBrun. This should be the scoring line for the Americans, the line that makes it happen. The blue liners are Catcher and Kutowitz. Cutter, tough farm kid from Major, Saskatchewan. Catcher from Prince Albert, another farming community in Saskatchewan. This time it goes to Kutowitz. He shoots it into the Seattle end, but Shannon Travis is there for the Thunderbirds. Stolen away, Barnes, a shot and drive wide of the net. Rebound comes in behind the net, and Stark is there for Seattle. His pass goes ahead to Gertson. Gertson for Seattle to McHammond. McHammond takes it into the boards, gets pounded there by Catcher. Puck to Spenrath. Spenrath tried to get it to Barnes. Shot back into the neutral zone where Hall has it, but Barnes across the blue line. Barnes, a shot blocked by Lorenz, and nobody there to clean up. LeBrun couldn't get there in time. Loose puck. And now Seattle with it as Travis has it. Travis shoots it into the Tri-Cities end. Catcher goes after it. Trent Catcher. Catch shoots it ahead now, intended for Nibs. Seattle with it. Dumas. 8:38 to go in overtime. Rennie along the boards with it. Shoots it in behind the Tri-Cities net as Zavisha goes after it. Four-man scramble. Puck comes loose. Nibs has it to Rennie. Now Nibs up along the boards. Nibs falls down, goes to Rennie. 1-on-3. Rennie looks at a shot. Centers instead for Delcourt. Delly can't get to it. Back out to the neutral zone for Jakes. Jakes saves it to Rennie. Dogger has it. Steve Rennie. They call him Rune Dog. Goes on the right now to Jakes. Jakes to Rennie. Rennie and Jakes. Rennie ties up his man. Jakes goes after it. Gets it to Nibs. Nibs, a big blast from the blue line. Blocked by Dumas out front. Now Nibs keeps it in play. Shoots it down across the line in beside the Seattle net. Kept in play by Kraus. But Seattle with it. They shoot it into the neutral ice area. Here comes Jakes. Jakes tried to get it to Delcourt. Goes into the corner. Delcourt and Dumas. Dumas loses his stick. Delcourt and Murray Duval as they poke at it. Comes out to Ewan. Dean Ewan, but it's stopped at the blue line. Lost by Jakes. Here comes Seattle. Gervais, a blast wide of the net. Goes into the corner and taken out of there by Duval. Back to the neutral ice area. Delcourt shoots it in on the Seattle goal. Blocked by Lorenz. In after it quickly is Simon. Darcy Simon with a puck. It's along the boards. Now shot out to Gervais. Gervais dumps it into the Tri-Cities end. Back for it quickly. Kutowitz ahead to Duval. Shoots it all the way into the Seattle end. It'll be icing. No, it won't be. It was touched by Seattle. I thought we were going to have an icing call. Comes out to the center ice. Catcher, a big blast. And it's deflected out of there by Danny Lorenz.
Very tough shots those are to block.
Kutowitz shoots it off the boards. Back into the Seattle end. Now Travis after it. Travis loses it to Spenrath. In after it goes Seattle. It goes in along the board. Spenrath after it, along with Hall. Spenrath digging for it. Now for Seattle, a shot taken by Gertson, blocked by Frank Ferlin. Puck goes around behind the net, and it's tied up there, and down goes Gertson.
Boy, Ferlin recovered off that fake very well.
What a move by Frank Ferlin. Whew. Puck goes into the corner, tied up there, and we'll have a face-off to the right of the Tri-Cities goal. Quick shift change on for both clubs. 35 home games remaining for the Americans. Season tickets still on sale. What a bargain. And you have a chance at the puck shoot for $100,000 if you have a season ticket and your name is drawn. Rennie against Goodall to the right of Frank Furlan. Comes out to Seattle. A blast! Slides into the slot. It was blocked, and the Americans have it. They get it ahead to Delcourt. Delcourt checked off the puck by Malgunas. Now Seattle with it. 6:11 to go in overtime. Jay Stark. Stark gets it across to Zavisha. Into the corner it goes. Now out for the Americans. Delcourt. 1-on-3. Delcourt leaves it behind for Rennie. Dogger goes in. A shot! Blocked by Lorenz. It comes right underneath Delcourt. Skates and he can't find it. Delcourt, Nibs, and Rennie digging at the puck along with Brad Zavisha, and it'll be tied up there.
We got a little pushing going on down there. Rennie looks like he's a little excited.
Rennie and Zavisha. They say Steve Rennie is the best player in the league with only 1 goal.
That's quite the backhand, too.
5:49 to go in overtime. We're tied at 3 here in Tri-Cities Coliseum. If you got a bad ticker, you probably ought to leave now. 5:49 to go in overtime. It'll be Gervais against Barnes. To the left of Danny Lorenz.
Important face-off right here.
And it's won by Seattle. Dumas gets it ahead now to Vallis. Vallis, his pass intended for Ewan, knocked away, but here's Gervais. A shot, he almost had Furlan beat. Slid in front of the net, but knocked out of there by the Americans. Comes out to Travis. Travis keeps it in play. Furlan leaves it behind now, behind the net. Here comes Jakes. Jakes ahead to Devin Dirksen. Dirksen loses it to Ewan. Ewan slaps it back into the Tri-Cities end, but Krause is there. Krause ahead for Rick Fry. Rob Krause dumps it into the Seattle end. Shift change on for the Americans. Darcy Simon is pasted to the boards, but Seattle brings it out. Hall stolen away by McNutt. Nutter goes after it along the blue line, and a whistle. No, play resumes. Shot down into the Tri-Cities end. Thought I heard a whistle. Kutowitz shoots it along the boards for Duval. Duval going in after it. Kutowitz shoots it off the dasher board to McNutt. McNutt. But McHammond has it for Seattle. He loses it. Tri-Cities with it. Here comes Kwiatkowski. 2-on-3. A drive! Wide of the net. It gets past Lorenz. Lorenz shoots it out along the boards. Save. Catcher shot. Deflected, but wide of the net. Duval goes after it. Here comes Seattle. Out to the neutral zone. Catcher shoots it in. But Malgunas there to stop it. Stuart Malgunas. And we're going to have a delayed call as soon as Catcher touches it. Icing, and they'll bring it back. Oh my, 4:20 to go in overtime. Tri-City Americans fans, well, some of them still wondering what's going on, Tony, but all in all, they've had a great night of hockey to watch.
I've sure enjoyed it.
Say something, Williams.
How you doing? How you doing? You're doing great. I'll tell you what, though, this is very exciting for all the people here in the Tri-Cities. They're seeing something that doesn't usually happen a whole bunch, an overtime game, and a sudden death here. First one in gets to go home smiling. 4:20
to go in the hockey game. Next hockey action for the Americans Tuesday night against Brandon. On the draw, Barnes winning the draw, but Seattle has it. They bring it out to Lindsey Vallis. Vallis at the Tri-City blue line. They chip it ahead to Gervais. Gervais in the slot. Slides it in, but Furlan is there to block it. Krause now leaves it behind for LeBrun. Tied up along the board. Gervais and LeBrun to Barnes. Back to LeBrun. Here comes Brunner. Sean LeBrun across the blue line. Beats his man, and he's tripped and knocked down. Going down, he tried to stick it toward the goal. Couldn't do it. Now Ewan comes out, slams it out to the neutral zone.
That's a perfect legal move down there as well.
Jakes will have to dig it off the ice as they got the linesman tied up in it, and then we had a whistle. 3-3 the score.
You know, the Seattle Thunderbirds right now are definitely looking for some form of a win. They're 0-5-1 in their last 6 games and lost 4-3 to the team that's coming in here on Tuesday night, the Brandon Wheat Kings.
You got to come see the Wheaties. They have a kid goalie by the name of Trevor Kidd, a 16-year-old who is really something. On the faceoff, it's won by the Americans to Kutowitz. Cutter shoots it into the Seattle end. Takes a good hit there from Malgunas. Goes in behind the goal. Shot high in the air, but caught by Zavisha. Kept alive at the blue line. A drive! blocked by Lorenz from catcher. Big shot by catcher, a slap shot from the blue line. Nibbs goes in after it, but it's lost by Seattle to catcher out in the neutral area. Catcher to Delcourt. Delcourt off his stick. Nibbs goes after it, but it's touched by Goodall. In the slot. Rennie had a shot and it was blocked. It fell down right in the slot, but there was nobody there for the Americans. Now it's shot back into the Seattle end. Do you think there are going to be any power plays in this thing? You got to do some kind of serious bad thing to get a penalty called on you now. McNutt goes along the boards, gets chopped by Travis. Nutter goes in after it behind the net. Steve McNutt, they chop it up into the air. Seattle goes after it. A drive by Krause. Deflected just wide of the net by Lorenz once again. From the left point. They go in after it. Darcy Simon. Simon with it on his skates. Along the boards.
It's still alive. There they go.
And now the whistles blow to end the play.
Krause sure had a great shot out here from the point. A beautiful slap shot. Deflected. And I thought for sure that Lorenz just couldn't get that. If it was a little bit lower, I think we would have saw the end of the game right there.
I think so too. Krause really blasted that one. The big left-hander has a good shot, and he really cranked it from the corner. Face-off will come at the face-off circle to the left of Danny Lorenz.
Just under 2.5 left in this overtime.
We're tied at 3. Tri-Cities and Seattle in sudden victory. The Americans putting fire on ice for their fans tonight. Barnes will face off against Gervais. Barnes told me before the game he was ready. There it is, there's the goal! And there's your win right there. First one in the Tri-City Coliseum. And they're tackling each other out there. What a way to do it. Barnes winning the draw, sticking it across in front of the net to Spinrath, and Spinner taps it home. Spinrath from Barnes. A 3-point night for Stu Barnes as the Americans put one in the victory column, winning it 4-3 in overtime.
You betcha. Look at the fans are on their feet, clapping, dancing in the streets tonight in the Tri-City.
Boy, they were happy. They've been under a lot of pressure, and they made it happen.
Coach John Oliver says, whoop it up, boys. Have a good time out there.
Spinrath getting the goal at 7:35 of overtime for the win. Spinrath from Barnes, and the Americans put one in the victory column, their first win at home in the Tri-Cities Coliseum. We'll be back with our post-game show in 2 minutes. Again, the final score, Tri-Cities 4, Seattle 3 in overtime.
All right. Thanks, Jerry. Excellent, excellent.
Okay, Tony, great job.